Bookmark. List. Forum. Settings. Lock. Edit _ note. Play _ circle. 84%. Chapter 501. The Power of Fragments. Arrow _ back _ ios _ Naworo _ forward _ ios. Countless ghosts, gushing out along the channel, began to run in all directions. Seeing countless ghosts flying out and besieging the demon cultivator of the phantom of the soul, the body immediately took a halt, as if seeing an excellent delicacy. It was said before that there was an entrance to the ghost world of the underworld here, but they hadn't seen it, and didn't even feel the breath at all. They thought that the two demon cultivators were lying to them. They had never heard of it. There was a way to block the passage of the ghost world of the underworld. Some have been to the Heart's Demon Realm passage, but they can feel the chilling yin aura far away. The low-level demon cultivator was shocked by the existence of the passage, but the female secretary and Shifeng set off a huge wave in their hearts. Sure enough, the Sword Alliance had already controlled the method of blocking the ghost world of the underworld. Just now, they saw Lin Haoyang drop a spirit rune with their own eyes, and then the blockade of the passage was unlocked, and a large number of ghosts poured out from it. The two demon cultivators were excited. Today, one of the two of them fell here, and they must also get a way to block the ghost world of the underworld. Kill, if you let them escape, you will all have to die. The female secretary shouted angrily. Shifeng and the female secretary no longer watched from the sidelines, and turned into two masses of blood mist. All demon cultivator unwillingly attacked the ghost of Ji Lingxi. The female secretary's words made them desperate. Once Lin Haoyang and the three of them escaped, then they really might all die here. All demon cultivator, no longer hesitate, use all of their own power, and start to stop the phantom of Ji Lingxi with all their strength. Suddenly, with the Tianqing as the center, within a radius of 300 li, it suddenly turned into a magic domain, covered in blood clouds, and countless ghosts rushed up and down. The central area was like a fountain, from which countless ghosts rushed out. At this moment, Ji Lingxi Phantom also couldn't hold it anymore. There were too many demon cultivators, and the strength was not weak. The two demon cultivator joined together, still looking for opportunities to take action, making the extremely spiritual shadow more dim. In the sky outside the jagged city, Ji Lingxi suddenly frowned, and he could feel that Lin Haoyang used the token she gave. But token, it seems that Lin Haoyang failed to help Lin Haoyang contact the crisis. Lin Haoyang is still in danger today. It seems that in the Sword League, it's time to reshuffle the cards. With a cold snort, all the cultivators in the iron and blood trembled, and a permeable chill made everyone shudder. There is a seal that surrenders to Ji Lingxi's body, and the power of the immortal way suppresses the quartet. Long Tuzi was also awakened and looked towards Ji Lingxi. He didn't know what happened, but the Ji Lingxi who had provoked him wanted to rewash the Sword League. Although the Jianmeng was built on the basis of the 7 great combinations, the Jilin line was basically not involved because of the small number of people, and it was considered a transcendent existence. But now, Ji Lingxi has the idea of joining the world. It seems that this time, Ji Lingxi is indeed anxious. Fellow Taoist, no matter when it happens, the overall situation should be the first priority. Long Tuzi persuaded. Ji Lingxi's face was ugly, and he didn't give Long Tuzi a face at all. My disciple is going to die. If you don't guard this city, anyone who has done great service to the human race will be calculated, so I'll play a fart with you. I did not pursue the matter of Duan Hong. This time, I will never compromise. You know, this thing was brought back by my disciples. You really think I'm a bully, so try it. Ji Lingxi said with a gloomy expression. Long Tuzi's complexion changed. He didn't expect that things had happened to this point. He was also helpless. Some people, indeed, they shouldn't be bothered by Lin Haoyang. This is his own death. Very spirit fellow Taoist. Let's talk about this matter after defending the Iron and Blood City, otherwise demonic beasts will break through the human realm and everything will be vain. Long Tuzi said. Hearing this, Ji Lingxi didn't say much. No matter how much he said at this moment, what's the use? If Lin Haoyang really died, she wouldn't mind making a big turn. On Lin Haoyang's side, the battle situation is gradually falling into a crisis. At this moment, even Lin Xuanlin, Bai Qingyan and others have participated in the war, and there is no more hiding. Taiyaman, Yuanenjai, and many others felt that the strength of this place was doing their best to share the pressure for Lin Haoyang and others. For these people, the lady secretary and Shifeng didn't even look at them. They had discovered these people a long time ago. But a group of golden cores and nascent souls are nothing but what storms can they bring up? Part of the low-level demon cultivator was separated, and they were entangled. The most important thing now is to catch Lin Haoyang and obtain a way to block the ghost world of the underworld. In the center of the Blood Sea, the phantom of Ji Lingxi was already very fragile, and looked like it might dissipate at any time. Use the means given to you by the sword bearer. This projection of mine will not be able to hold it immediately. Ji Lingxi Ziying said. Lin Haoyang nodded. It's not that Ji Lingxi's projection is not strong, but that there are too many opponents. Thousands of demon cultivator and 2 Hua Shen, the lowest or foundation building late stage, and it is not easy to survive now. After all, this is just a power projection of Ji Lingxi, with limited strength. Lin Haoyang didn't hesitate anymore, and directly took out the flying sword fragment given by the sword bearer, without reluctance. This thing was originally for life-saving. At the same time, he took out a large number of Tier 5 magic symbols and gave them to Su Qin and Zuo Qianji, saying, "When I use this ultimate method, Master will lead us to rush again. If you can't rush out, you will explode these charms, open a gap, and find a chance to survive." At this moment, the two did not have any more friendship, took the magic talisman, ready to urge them at any time. Lin Haoyang poured spirit power into the flying sword fragments, and suddenly a wave of God's might to resist the surroundings. The female secretary and Shifeng felt the horror of this treasure for the first time. Among them, the hit of the Hidao cultivator must be sealed. Even if it is the 9 realm of transforming God, I am afraid it can be easily beheaded. Flying sword fragments, unlike magic charms, require a lot of spirit power to activate. Now Lin Haoyang just injected a trace of divine sense, flying sword fragments, and he has already activated it. As long as he wants, this sword can be used. Originally, he wanted to use this flying sword fragment to scare away the lady and Shifeng, but these 2 lunatics, seemingly unaware of fear, still killed him. Lin Haoyang was also angry. He was not a good temper. With a thought, the flying sword fragment broke out. Suddenly, the world was silent, and a sword ray passed by, quietly. Originally, Shifeng and the female secretary wanted to kill from one direction, so that Lin Haoyang couldn't take care of them, but they still underestimated the power of this sword. Sword ray was cut, and a demon cultivator burst, and even a trace of magic was not left behind. In fact, neither the female secretary nor Shifeng were within the range of sword ray, but this sword also slashed their bodies. After the sword was cut, the heaven and the earth returned to silence, like the sky. After being cut open, they closed again. In a short moment, 90% of the demon cultivator was gone. Among them, Shifeng and the female secretary, these 2 gods demon cultivator, were beheaded without the slightest resistance under the sword of harmony, and the gap was like a moat. Lin Haoyang was stunned, the flying sword fragment, a bit fierce. When the sword bearer gave him this flying sword fragment, he just said that he could kill him if he was in harmony. But he didn't expect it to be so strong. For a while, he felt a little heartache. He still had a treasure of Sun Ning's Taoist protector, and he suffered a great loss. 84%. Chapter 502. The remaining demon cultivator, only less than 10%, that is, less than 100. A sword from flying sword fragments directly emptied the entire sky. Not only Lin Haoyang was stunned, everyone else was stunned, and even the ghost of the gods in the ghost world of the underworld was stunned. Just now, he felt an extremely strong sword chi slashed, and a sword made him frightened. Originally, he still wanted to try to go out, but at this moment, he completely cut off the idea. Now going out, isn't that going to die? The ghost who rushed out before taking advantage of the chaos was basically finished under that sword. Not only the ghost, the other ghosts, all felt the breath, and the ghost felt fear for this passage. For a time, no ghost dared to step out of the tunnel. On the ground, after Demon Cultivator was silent for a while, the hearts of all demon cultivators changed from fear to excitement. Although 90% of the people died, what does that have to do with them? They survived. Moreover, the female secretary and Shifeng are dead, no one can control them anymore, what are they afraid of? Freedom is more important than anything else. Suddenly, all the demon cultivators, one by one, were excited and fled in all directions. As for the ghost world of the underworld, who would care about that thing? Freedom, what they have been pursuing, is more important than anything else. Seeing that the remaining demon cultivator began to flee, Lin Haoyang's eyes flashed cold, and he wanted to escape, which was impossible. Everyone, kill! Lin Haoyang threw out the red armor, and immediately shot out with Su Qin and Zuo Qianji. Around, the right-way cultivator who came to help also shot one after another, and they came together to kill here. The situation suddenly reversed, and demon cultivator became the one who was killed. In the Heart's demon world, the ancestor Heart's demon frowned. He seemed to sense that the lady and Shifeng were both dead. How long had passed since then? 2 demon cultivators died. Heart's demon, don't be distracted. Nan Bui shouted angrily. There was a huge wound on his chest and abdomen, covered with blood. The ancestor Heart's demon was taken aback, and there was another wound in front of him. Long Shu is not an ordinary strong. Even if they play 3 against 1, it is still extremely difficult. The old woman also retreated at this moment, and her body was not lightly injured. Opposite the 3 of them was the pale-faced Long Zuzi, with a broken arm, facing the siege of the 3. He was also hard to beat with 4 hands. You started the war. It turned out to be me. Even if you trap me with this formation, you want to kill me. I'm afraid I will die first stage injury. Have you figured out how to allocate it? A joking smile appeared on the corner of Long Zuzi's mouth. Hearing this, Nan Bui's expression was ugly to the extreme. 70% of the dead were him. Before he knew it, he quietly took 3 steps. The Heart's demon ancestor's face suddenly jumped, and he no longer thought about the female secretary and Shifeng, but the 2 gods demon cultivator. Killing Long Zuzi was the top priority. Don't be fooled by him. The 3 of us work together. How could he be killed so easily? Moreover, our ambassador will not only have such a skill, otherwise, what should I say to us? The ancestor Heart's demon was not in a hurry. Long Zuzi's provocation seemed to be of no use to him. A wry smile appeared on the old woman's face and said, I have already made this big formation. It is not enough. It seems that this big formation will not be available next time. The ancestor Heart's demon didn't move his face and said, Not enough. Not enough to make me tempted. Nan Bui showed a surprised look on his face. He felt that being able to control the formation of the Hidao cultivator would give them the hope of killing Long Zuzi. To be honest, Hidao is too difficult to kill, except for the sword holder, who can be sure to kill a Hidao cultivator 100%. Moreover, Long Shu is not weak. He is ranked 2nd in the human race Chihei Dao. How could such a strong be easily beheaded? However, Nan Bui is not stupid to the point where he can cultivate Dao now, so he immediately looked down and said, My messenger, let me show you some real skills. I don't believe it if I can be a messenger and don't have the skills. Nan Bui and Heart's demon ancestor stood in line at the same time. The old woman's face was full of helplessness. It seems that if you want these people to work for her, it won't work if you don't show some real skills. Long Zuzi's complexion changed. Messenger. Isn't this person a person in their world? As the great power of the Sword Alliance, he knows more, knowing that under this starry sky, there is a wider world. Could this old woman come from another world? At this moment, Long Zuzi no longer thinks about the death fight. This news is more important than the killing of the Heart's demon ancestor, and it must be spread. Nowadays, not only the monsters invaded, but also the enemies from outside. This, the sages of the human race, had expected it a long time ago, but he didn't expect it to come so soon. Terran. Not ready yet. At this time, a leaf appeared in the old woman's hand, a green leaf. The moment the leaf appeared, Long Zuzi's heart was chilled, and that leaf made him feel the ultimate horror. Can't wait any longer. Wait any longer. He is bound to die here today, and it is impossible for the news to spread. Long Zuzi's body gradually faded, and a dagger spring onion rushed out of him, piercing the surrounding formation in an instant. Seeing this dagger, the 3 ancestors of Heart's demon also changed their complexions, knowing that Long Zuzi was also coming desperately. He desperately didn't want to kill them, but wanted to break through the formation and spread the news about the old woman. The old woman looked anxious, and she must not let Long Zuzi spread the news. It was too important, or their plans would be wasted. The old woman urged the leaves in her hand, and the green leaves lifted into the sky, instantly turning into a green rule, shrouded towards Long Zuzi. At this time, Long Zuzi had already turned into a pitch-black dagger, and his entire physical body had been blurred, and he could not see it at all. The force of the rules transformed by the green leaves fell on the black dagger, causing the black dagger to tremble violently. The attacks of the ancestor Heart's demon and Nan Bui fell on the black dagger at the same time, and the dagger trembled more violently. However, even if the attacks of the 3 of them fell at the same time, the old woman even used special means, and failed to break through the dagger. Puff! The black dagger broke the green rule, cut through the attacks of Nanbai and Heart's demon ancestor, and attacked the surrounding formation that trapped him. This time, formation also failed to stop the dagger, and instantly penetrated through the space. The ancestor Heart's demon looked at the black dagger that was running away. His face was ugly to the extreme, and the three of them joined hands and failed to stop Long Zuzi. The old woman's face is even more gloomy. He has used the green leaves, and still can't complete the kill. It's a little weird. This green leaf, which was given by a strong immortal Dao, possessed the power of the pinnacle of He Dao, and even involved the rules, and failed to kill Long Zuzi. Long Zuzi was also decisive. Knowing that he couldn't escape, he burned everything, including his own body, and then merged into the sickly black dagger, which broke the barrier of the formation and the three. However, Long Zuzi burned everything and couldn't live long. The black dagger broke through the void and escaped from the void. After one, it came to the bronze ancient sword and fell beside the hut. The sword holder who hovered over the hut, guarding against the Sea Clan's sneak attack, suddenly changed his face and drew the black dagger into his hand. Then, his complexion changed wildly, and the sky fell. Long Zuzi died in battle, and the outside enemy invaded. 84%. Chapter 503. The anger on the sword-bearer's face was hard to dissipate, and his body moved, and the whole person suddenly disappeared in place. There was a voice in the sky. Chin, fellow Taoist, should stay here. At the same time, a nine-headed phantom appeared in the sky, trying to stop the sword-bearer. Humph! If you dare to stop me today, you will die. Qin Yan was not polite, as a power of immortality emerged. The face of the nine-headed phantom changed. It was the last immortal charm of the human race. What happened to force Qin Yan to use such a method? Could it be that Heart's demon really killed Long Zuzi? Long Zuzi is very strong. He knows, even if he wants to kill Long Zuzi, it is impossible. His speed is too fast. Almost to the point where he can't catch up. Such a powerful existence, just killed. There is not even a vision at all. It's not that there is no vision, but that Long Zuzi is still hanging in a sigh, not completely dead. Once it really dies, the sky will really collapse, and the entire human race will probably collapse. The second strongest human race will die like this. Is there any hope of victory for that human race? Therefore, in order to avoid such a thing from happening, Qin Yan incorporated Long Zuzi's magical item into his body, using his own source to consolidate it, and not let him die. As for his body, he flashed his body and flew towards the southern boundary of the human race. At this moment, the southern boundary of the human race was full of heads. The demon cultivator, who was still arrogant before, was immediately terrified of being killed. In one day, he was beheaded by 6 people, 100 people in nascent soul, and tens of thousands in golden core and foundation building. The demon cultivator, who killed one person, withdrew from the southern human race and completely retreated into the Heart's demon world. 3 days later, Qin Yan entered the Heart's demon world. Qin Yan's abnormality, various speculations from the outside world, even Ji Lingxi and others were shocked. Qin Yan was crazy. They found that Long Zuzi seemed to be missing, and they couldn't even feel the breath of Long Zuzi. If it weren't for the vision of heaven and earth, they would even think that Long Zuzi was dead. As long as the heaven and earth vision does not appear, everyone will not act rashly, and once the judgment is wrong, it will cause even greater trouble. Qin Yan killed most of Demon Cultivator. Heart's demon ancestor did not make any sound, did not make any move. Anyway, he just shrank in the Heart's demon world. When Lin Haoyang and others heard the news, they were all shocked beyond words. The sword holder was too strong. The remaining demon cultivator was bent on fleeing, but Lin Haoyang couldn't stop him. In the end, he killed more than 10 people, and demon cultivator escaped. All the demon cultivators were beheaded, and Lin Haoyang returned to the entrance of the ghost world of the underworld again. Now there are a large number of manpower to guard the entrance of the passage, which is much easier. This time, the 3 sects lost a total of 5 golden core cultivators. Qingyan and Zongshanlu each lost 2, and Xuanzhenzong also lost 1. Such a loss is still acceptable. The person Zan Junzong lost was the rogue cultivators who joined later. There were also his wife and children behind him. Since he died in the battle for the Punisher, Lin Haoyang naturally treated him equally, and his corpse and treasure were sent back together, and the promised remuneration and compensation were also sent out. Soon after Lin Haoyang and the others suppressed the entrance to the underworld shadow and soul realm, a cultivator rushed over. Okay, if I take over here, can you go back? This god cultivator is a woman with a mediocre appearance and dissatisfied face. She seems to be sent to take over here, very reluctant. Lin Haoyang narrowed his eyes. The other party was a god. Even if he was a disciple of the Hidao cultivator, he didn't need giving face. But they just fought a battle, killing countless demon cultivators, including 2 demon cultivators. It's so slow, and it's a arrogant look. Who will show it to you? It's not so easy to pick peaches. This senior, an unknown name, is of great importance here, but no cat or dog can take over. We need the appointment of the Sword League. Lin Haoyang's tone was blunt, and he didn't give the other person a face. Su Qin, Zuo Qianji and the others were shocked when they heard it, but the other party was a cultivator. Are you afraid of being slapped to death if you annoy the other person? The woman who turned the gods raised her eyebrows, and she was a little annoyed at first. She came late on purpose. Someone above asked Lin Haoyang to die, otherwise, she should have arrived before the female secretary. No matter how it is not here now, but the sword-bearer made her move, completely frightened her. The sword-bearer alone, the slaughtered demon cultivator fled back to Heart's demon realm in a hurry. The ancestor of Heart's demon didn't even dare to let go of a fart. If at this time, she deliberately delayed it, I am afraid she would have nothing to eat. It is very likely that its path will come to an end, so she hurried over. But I didn't expect Lin Haoyang to be so ignorant. If it wasn't for the disciple of Ji Lingxi, she would have been afraid of death. She is almost annoying to death now, a little nascent soul cultivator, still jumping around here, looking for death. Ha, want to die. The feminine god of transformation gave a cold snort, and the god of transformation cultivation base suddenly dispersed, and the surrounding sky was suddenly suppressed. The dark clouds in the sky were surging like the sky, and they couldn't bear her anger. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was also angry. He just asked the other party to show a proof that the underworld ghost realm was not a random thing. Once let go, it would ruin the existence of countless people. I just asked, and I wanted to see him with a big deal of expression. I owe you. The transformation of the gods is great, let alone the transformation of the gods. I have seen the 7 great combinations, and I am afraid of you. The clay figurine still has 3 points of fire, and being so excited by the feminine god, he is also angry, and now he even suspects that the other party may have taken refuge in Demon Cultivator. Everyone is alert, the other party may be Demon Cultivator. Lin Haoyang shouted, and more than 100 people present suddenly became vigilant. They also felt something was wrong. When did the Jianmeng Cultivator become so overbearing? Lin Haoyang just wanted the other party to prove that he was a member of the Sword League, and shouted at the convenience. Suddenly, more than 100 people rushed here. The lowest were Golden Core Cultivator, and all cultivation base broke out. Even if the opponent was a God Cultivator, they would not hesitate to fight. Is the transformation of gods great? Transformation God is not invincible. There were 2 transformation gods before, and even the ashes were not left. At this moment, Lin Haoyang's spirit power surged, leading everyone into the air. There are more than 100 people, 8 of nascent soul, and more than 90 people of golden core. It is impossible to fight a god. Transformation is too strong. However, Lin Haoyang has confidence. He also has Sun Ning's Taoist protector. Although it is not realistic to kill the cultivator, it is enough to fight against this person. Lin Haoyang felt that the opponent's strength was much weaker than Zhao Duanlong, and she was even worse than the 2 demon cultivators just now. A god early stage, what to pull here? Seeing everyone lifted into the sky, the feminine god was even more angry. She really didn't do anything today. A group of gods, Golden Core, dared to refute her. The dark clouds in the sky surging, turned into a giant hand, and photographed them. Lin Haoyang slapped his storage bag, and a magic talisman flew out. Suddenly, the breath of a cultivator filled the world. A sharp to the extreme sword energy, hidden in it, 3 swords in heaven, earth and man. What's hidden in it is the heavenly sword. According to legend, it can break the sky together. Feeling the power of the heavenly sword, the feminine god's complexion changed wildly, and she never expected that Lin Haoyang still had the treasure of Taoism in her hands. Our demon cultivator waste. Even nascent soul can't handle it. At this moment, an angry shout came from the sky. Stop. 84%. Chapter 504. With a roar, everyone stopped. It's not that they want to stop, but the 5 powerful forces that force them to stop. The strength of each share is no worse than the previous 2 demon cultivator. The person who speaks, Lin Haoyang, feels no weaker than Zhao Duanlong. In other words, the 5 people, the lowest in the cultivation base, may all be the 4th level of the gods, which is the middle stage of the gods. The handsome man headed by him is probably a late-stage cultivator. As soon as the 5 people appeared, the god-transforming woman's face instantly turned pale. She did not expect that she was still a step slower, and the person sent by the Jian League arrived before she took over. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang put away the magic talisman. At this time, if he wanted to do it again, it would be tantamount to looking for death. Seeing Lin Haoyang stopped, everyone else stopped. Now it seems that without them, they can make this cultivator have good fruits. In fact, from the beginning, Lin Haoyang knew that the god of transformation was the god of transformation sent by the Zhanmeng to suppress Zheng Guo's demon cultivator. However, because of demon cultivator, she didn't come in the first time and almost buried them all here. It is absolutely impossible to say that Lin Haoyang didn't have any anger. In addition, the other party's arrogance made it even more so. Seeing the 5 people, the corners of the god-transforming woman's mouth moved slightly, and she wanted to say something, but Lin Haoyang was the first to say. 5 adults, we will guard the ghost world of the underworld, destroy the foundation building, golden core, nascent soul level demon cultivator more than 900 people, the 2 demon cultivator. Difficult to defend the entrance of the ghost world of the underworld. But once this adult comes, he has to take over here, but the ghost world of the descent is so important that we dare not agree to it easily. After all, it is such a cultivation base, which is transformed by demon cultivator, and I can't tell it. So I wanted this adult to show his identity as the Sword League, but this adult wanted to suppress me if he didn't say anything. When I was about to sacrifice my life and guard the passage of the ghost realm of the underworld, 5 adults came. Yes, please 5 adults to call the shots for me. Also, this adult is such a big heir. You have to wait until all the demon cultivators are dead before you can come. If it weren't for the Swordbearer Senior who gave the Taoist protector, I'm afraid we will die here today. The news about the passage of the ghost realm in the underground palace. I still report it to the master. Ji-Lingxi, 5 adults, please don't let me wait for the chills. After Lin Haoyang finished speaking, the face of the goddess cultivator Shu suddenly changed wildly, pale as paper. She is selfish. When she received this news, she rushed here as soon as possible, but after a while, she received a second message. It is said that there is something abnormal in the East River sect. There are a large number of demon cultivators attacking the East River sect, which is very likely to be related to the underworld ghost realm. Let her rush over immediately. She didn't dare to disobey the order and could only rush to Dong sect without stopping, but halfway through, another news came that Dong sect was a misunderstanding, and the real passage was here in Lin Haoyang. She was so angry for a while, playing her like a monkey, and her mood was extremely hot. When he rushed to the place where Lin Haoyang and others were, demon cultivator had already retreated, and he didn't even come and asked in a hurry. How did he think that Lin Haoyang was also a hot temper, so he would directly use her as a demon cultivator, and he would fight to the death. What's even more hateful is that you, a disciple of a very spiritual child, why there is a Taoist protector of Longtuzi, it really refreshed her 3 views. A person can actually have the protection of 3 powerful people in the same way. What is the origin of this person? Moreover, can the protector of the Hidao cultivator be able to slash the gods? 2 more. Is the god worthless? In particular, Lin Haoyang's words just now forced her to be the opposite of the human race, completely a big villain. Even more helpless, Lin Haoyang didn't lie at all, it was all true. Gong Yu, is it true? The handsome man said. Gong Yu looked helpless, she was very angry, but there was no way to argue, it was all true. She even had heart palpitations. Lin Haoyang seemed to be able to kill her just now. She felt extremely strong blood qi fluctuations in the surrounding air, and the intensity of this blood qi was definitely not under the awakening of the gods. In other words, what Lin Haoyang said is true, and they really fought against demon cultivator. After hearing this, the handsome man was also a little shocked. Lin Haoyang actually beheaded the 2 transformation gods. The result of this battle was a little astonishing. Gong Yu's face was helpless, she couldn't refute this matter. Yes, in the air, the faces of the 5 people who had just arrived showed anger. Lin Haoyang and others have done a lot to the human race. Gong Yu has made a big mistake by doing this. However, Gong Yu is also a god cultivator, and it is not their turn to be punished by Gong Yu. Gong Yu, after returning to the Sword League, he went to the criminal law department to receive punishment by himself, and there must be no concealment at all. The handsome man said. Gong Yu nodded. This time everything was too big. Her punishment was not light, but she was not a good person to deal with. This time, there was obviously an excitement that wanted to deal with Lin Haoyang, but she was just a knife. It is not a fool to be able to cultivate to transform the gods. Now that he calms down, he knows that there is a lively behind him who wants to deal with Lin Haoyang. The corners of Gong Yu's mouth moved slightly and said to Lin Haoyang, "Lin, fellow Taoist, someone wanted to harm you. The reason why I came late is because someone above asked me to go to the East River sect, saying that there is also the entrance to the underworld ghost realm. As soon as I walked halfway, I received another message saying that Dong sect was okay and asked me to rush to your side. It was too late. By saying this, I don't want you to intercede for me, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. That person may want you to die." Quote. Lin Haoyang's expression changed wildly after hearing this. So, sure enough, someone in the Sword League wanted him to die. Why? Why did he kill him? He didn't do anything. Because of the fairy tomb, or because of the seal, or because of the geniuses he killed. For a while, Lin Haoyang thought a lot. These are all possible. After returning, he has to ask the master to help him find out who it is that wants to harm him. The 5 transformation gods came here and showed the token of the Sword Alliance. Lin Haoyang and the others didn't worry anymore and handed over the place to them. The 5 cultivators of the gods, unless He Dao personally come to attack, it is impossible to break the defense. The 5 cultivators arrange the formation to completely seal the entrance to the ghost world of the underworld. If the ghost flies out of it, the formation will automatically take action, and the ghost has no chance. The ghost world of the underworld was not so weak originally, but the hole that Lin Haoyang opened at the time was too small, and it was very difficult for the ghost of nascent soul early stage to come out, and it was not a big threat. If the opening of the hole is big enough to allow the ghost of the gods to enter and leave at will, it will not be a disaster for the human race, it will be a disaster for all races. The problem of the entrance to the ghost realm of the underworld was solved, and the sword holder Qin Yan solved the problem of the demon cultivator. Lin Haoyang was fine, and the battle of the demons ended here. Originally, Lin Haoyang thought that there would be several battles, but Qin Yan solved all the problems alone. This is a happy event, but Lin Haoyang always feels that there is a problem. Demon cultivator has made such a big move, and it didn't take advantage of anything. Why? Demon cultivator has penetrated thousands of years of results, so wasted. If there was nothing in it, Lin Haoyang wouldn't believe it. But these are all high-level matters, and have nothing to do with him. With the people of Xuanzhen sect, Lin Haoyang returned to Baiyu Mountain. 84%. Chapter 506. The moment Qin Yan came out of the heart's demon world, there was a sudden rain of blood in the sky. This is the sorrow of the passing of the Dao Dao cultivator. Qin Yan glanced at the blood rain in the sky, a hint of irony appeared at the corner of his mouth, and with a punch, he exploded the vision in the sky. This kind of person is not worthy of sorrow. After that, the sword bearer disappeared from the place, and there were bursts of angry roars from the sky, which was Heavenly Dao's anger. Heavenly Dao fell angrily, and the entrance to the heart's demon world was suddenly flooded by thunder. Several of the entrances even disappeared by thunder. When someone saw this scene, the corners of their mouths twitched, and the sword bearer blasted the blood rain to prevent the heavenly general from mourning. Heavenly Dao did not punish the sword bearer, but instead bombarded the heart's demon world. This is a bit too much. Ji Lingxi disappeared for March and went deep into the heart's demon world. No one knew why he entered. As soon as he came out, he carried Nanbai's head. In the heart's demon world, it is known as a cultivator to enter, but it is also a place where demon cultivator cannot be used. When demon cultivator was wiped out before, it was precisely because of the heart's demon world that demon cultivator was not wiped out. The heart's demon world has also become the last barrier of demon cultivator. Now the sword bearer rushed into the heart's demon world and cut off Nanbuyi's head. Earth heart's demon world, is it still safe? Nanbai, that was the second-ranked existence on the Tianju list, offering a reward for the terrifying existence of more than 100 million spirit stones. Nanbuyi, that is a real Hidao-level powerhouse, wherever it is placed, it is the top powerhouse, and is sought after by all parties. However, Nanbai was born as a rogue cultivator. Although he was not a demon cultivator, he had done a lot of looting, and he often offended the Sword League. Later, there was a great opportunity. Under the reward of Tianjubang, he went even further. In a secret realm, cultivation base broke through the realm of harmony. Although Nanbai made a breakthrough in Hidao, his life was not much better, because the cultivator who came to catch him turned from God to Hidao, which is even more difficult. Fortunately, he cultivated the cultivation technique, and was even better at cultivation technique. In several sieges, he escaped. Later, Nanbai was hidden everywhere in the world. Because he was not committing a crime, he also reached a tacit understanding with Janmang. As long as he no longer commits crimes, Janmang will not trouble him again. Hundreds of years have passed, Nanbui has indeed never committed another crime, and even little news has flowed out. But he didn't expect that he would get mixed up with Demon Cultivator when he appeared again. Although Nanbai didn't deal with the Sword League Cultivator, he didn't deal with Demon Cultivator. He killed many Demon Cultivator. Therefore, people have always thought that it is impossible for him to mix with Demon Cultivator, but it turns out that everything is possible. However, these are not important now. Even if Nanbui hides in the Heart's demon world, he is still beheaded. This is telling the world. It really annoys the human race. No matter where you hide, you can kill you. The news that Nanbai was beheaded spread all over the country in an instant. The demon races in the west, north, and east were all a little bit timid, not daring to encircle and kill the human races, and backed away. They had an agreement with Demon Cultivator, as long as they can entangle the main human race, they can kill Long Zuzi. However, the news of Long Zuzi's death has not come yet. Instead, a cultivator in the Heart's demon world has fallen. This made them feel shocked about the strength of Qin Yan, the sword man, and even more doubted that outside messenger, it seemed that it wasn't good enough. As a result, the three parties withdrew their troops, and the human race was in crisis contact. Lin Haoyang stood on the top of the moon worship mountain and looked at the demonic beasts that were going away. He was rather unhappy. There was something that everyone hadn't paid attention to. That was Long Zuzi. Since the sword bearer ran away, he has never seen the shadow of Long Zuzi again. Even the sword bearer went deep into the Heart's demon world and cut Nanbai. Long Zuzi did not appear either. As a result, the matter inside became serious, and Lin Haoyang suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. Long Zuzi is the second most powerful existence among the 7 great combinations. If something goes wrong with him, human race will probably face an unprecedented crisis. Although the sword bearer cut Nanbai, the mighty side, but all of these cure the symptoms and not the root cause, neither solving the demon cultivator's problem, nor the demon cult's problem. If it is confirmed that there is something wrong with Long Zuzi, I am afraid the human race will be at an absolute disadvantage. Just when Lin Haoyang was worrying about it, there was still silence in the Heart's demon world. The ancestor Heart's demon was sitting in the main seat with an extremely ugly expression. On the side, the old woman's face was extremely dark, and they did not expect that the sword bearer would directly enter the Heart's demon world. Although the ancestor Heart's demon had fought with a sword holder before, it was the first time he saw such a sword holder. In the face of 3 cultivators and many low-level demon cultivators, Qin Yan went straight to Nanbai with 1 sword and 1 man. No matter how he wears Nanbai, the sword bearer will kill him. After 3 months of fighting, under the siege of everyone, Nanbui was cut with a sword by the sword bearer. That sword, the sword holder borrowed the bronze ancient sword hundreds of thousands of miles away, and went down with 1 sword. No matter how many Nanbai's methods were, it was useless. The primordial spirit is shattered, the body is dead, and even the chance of reincarnation is gone. After killing Nanbai, the sword bearer left the Heart's demon realm uneasy, and slammed into the Heart's demon realm alone. He was also seriously injured, his origin was depleted, and his body was blown several times. However, with the help of the secret method, the sword bearer recovered instantly, otherwise, he would have died early. After all, the combination of 3 ways, more than 20 gods, and hundreds of nascent souls siege, even if it is a sword bearer, can't bear it. The sword bearer left, and the demon cultivator in the Heart's demon world was relieved. When the sword bearer killed Nanbui with 1 sword, they had the illusion that the sword bearer could wipe them all clean with 1 sword. At that time, they were desperate. Under that sword, including the Heart's demon ancestor and outside messengers, they all felt that if they fell on themselves, there would be no life. At the meeting of the gods, the original 7 cultivators, now there are only 6 people left, all of them looking heavy. They already knew the cause and effect, but they didn't know what Long Zuzi was injured. The black dagger hidden by the soul of Long Zuzi was hidden deep in the source by the sword bearer, preventing it from completely dying. Although the Sword League has the immortal heritage, more than 20,000 years have passed, and the treasures are almost consumed. If you want to save Long Zuzi, you can only look at the immortal tomb. Hope to find a way to save Long Zuzi in the fairy tomb. Although the sword bearer is extremely powerful in origin, it can only last for 50 years at most. Therefore, if there is no way to rescue Long Zuzi in the fairy tomb, Long Zuzi will be completely wiped out in 50 years. Well, you probably know about Long Shu's situation. He became like this for the purpose of delivering news. I have personally verified that there is indeed a powerful Hidao in the Heart's demon world. A cultivation technique is very different from ours. At the same time, he also cultivates his body. The strength is very strong and there are many treasures. The formation that trapped Long Zuzi should come from her hands. Quote. Everyone, do you have any suggestions? The sword bearer asked. 85%. Chapter 507 Holy Maiden. The other 5 people all looked gloomy and watery. They looked around and said in unison. Start the selection of Saint Sun, Holy Maiden. The 5 are very solemn, and obviously the selection of the sons is not a simple matter. The selection of saints by the Sword League is a resource tilt of the entire Sword League, and it requires the consent of all cultivators. The selection range of the Saint Child ranges from nascent soul to Washan. Yes, the Son of God is selected until the transformation of God. Shengji, Zhanmeng wants to cultivate Dao into harmony, talent, and cultivation base. Otherwise, it will take too long to cultivate from scratch. Nascent soul is the minimum for selection and training. Not every cultivator has the opportunity to participate in the selection of the Sun. Each cultivator has 2 places. There is 1 place for the 6th rank sect of the 3 cultivators and the sect who has once been in the cultivator. There are 3 places, selected by the elder group of the Sword League, and one of the rogue cultivators is jointly recommended by rogue cultivators. Counting it down like this, let's nominate the Holy Children for election, and there are only about 30 places. The selection of Holy Maiden, the Holy Son, will go through 3 rounds in total, and finally 2 places will be determined. The last selected man and woman, Zhanmeng, will devote all resources to nurturing. Including some resources of the ancient bronze sword. Of course, it also requires a certain amount of merit, but the difficulty is greatly reduced. The selection of Holy Maiden is very important, and it is not usually the case, because the resources consumed are too large. In the first stage, each person will get 3 times the training of their own resources. The triple here does not mean that you have 3 realm copies, but that you consume 3 times. For example, Lin Haoyang, in order to cultivate Good Fortune Zhou Heavenly Tribulation, is equivalent to consuming a Tier 6 spiritual object. After being nominated by the Son of God, you will get 3 times the resource tilt. After passing the first round, Ascension will be supplied with 5 times the resources, and after passing the second round, it will be 10 times the resource tilt. As long as you have the potential and can satisfy several cultivators, they can use resources to put you on the late stage. Finally, the bronze sword will be opened, rewarding a breakthrough opportunity. However, breakthrough is not that simple. Even with the efforts of the Sword League, the chance of success is about 60 to 70%. However, this is also the limit. In general, cultivator breakthrough, without heaven-defying opportunity, who dare to say that there is 60 to 70% certainty? If Nan Bui hadn't found a secret realm in the first place, and got some chances from the fairy world, he would be able to successfully break through with the confidence that Hidao would not exceed 20%. The probability of 20% is negligibly low, and 1 or 2 out of 10 people will succeed. You know, the entire human race, now that the cultivation base has reached the peak of the God transformation, may not have 10 people. However, if human race wants to survive in this world, 1 or 2 combination Dao is not useful at all. Without enough new combination Dao to supplement it, the territory is difficult to maintain. Once the monsters return to attack, there is not enough resources to support them, the population base will decrease, and the chances of the human beings in harmony will drop even more. Qihidao is the pinnacle of the human race. It is precisely because there are enough resources to cultivate. If you first come to this world, where there are so many resources to train new people, it is the most difficult era. In Lin Haoyang's generation, the Zhanmeng had accumulated a lot of opportunities, enough to train disciples on such a large scale. After being selected, he will not be able to become Hidao in the end. There is also a 70% chance of becoming a god of transformation. There are about 30 places, and some of the original god of transformation will be removed. It is also a huge ascension for the human race to cultivate 20 or so more transformation gods for the human race. As for the accumulation of these resources, the 7 great alliances do not care at all. In their realm, cultivation base ascension is too difficult. These resources are of little use to them. Their cultivation base has a small level of ascension. In addition to requiring massive resources, it also takes time to slowly grind. Not to mention the resources, you can quickly ascension cultivation base. Among today's Hidao, the oldest is the sword holder. Therefore, even without the element of the ancient bronze sword, the sword bearer is the strongest, and no one in the human race is its opponent. However, only by relying on the power of the ancient bronze sword can the sword bearer have the ability to kill other Ko-Daos. This is also the reason why the demon emperor is jealous. Others, although you may be able to beat the opponent, it is too difficult to defeat him. Just like Nan Bui, after so many years, it is difficult for Janmeng to deal with him. Nothing else. Once Nan Bui went mad and started to slaughter, it would be a catastrophic disaster. A Hidao cultivator slaughtered thousands of mortals. It was an extremely simple matter. Even the aftermath of a battle was not something they could bear. Since you all agree, let's start the plan of cultivating the Saint Child. At that time, the list of seeds selected by all parties will be sent to me. In the first round, 10 years, resources 10 times and 5 times. In the second round 20 years, resources 10 times. In the third round, resources 20 times. Hold the sword humanely. As soon as this remark came out, the other 5 people were a little surprised. Such a huge resource tilt has never appeared in Jeonju's history. When this happens, either an excellent genius has appeared, or the Sword League has a great crisis. So, is Long Zuzi really dying? Even the sword bearer is not sure about it. It is very likely that he is just giving the other party his life now. Long Shu, fellow Taoist, Bayawazi said with a trembling voice. The sword bearer shook his head. Don't ask. Since you have agreed, just follow what I said. We will make up for the insufficient resources. If we can't make up, we will open the treasury of ancient bronze swords. This time, other people will not ask more. Now that it has been decided, there is no need to ask more. As a cultivator, this is courageous. Everyone nodded and ended this wandering meeting. The projections of the crowd dispersed, and the sword bearer's face was full of murderousness. He could tolerate the struggles in the world, and it was not his ability to tolerate the outside world to intervene. If the outside world intervenes, it must be for the bronze ancient sword. Then there is a crisis of genocide, and the sword bearer will never allow this to happen. Therefore, this time, the sword bearer did not hesitate to give everyone a deterrent, as well as a deterrent to the ancestors of Heart's Demon, dare to easily collude with outsiders without a dead word. This time, the sword bearer did not choose to kill the Heart's Demon ancestor. As a result, the strength of Heart's Demon ancestor is not weak. As the leader of Demon Cultivator, there are so many ways to save life that are unimaginable. The sword bearer is not sure whether the ancient bronze sword can kill the ancestor of Heart's Demon. He has a feeling that the opponent will never die. Therefore, he chose to kill Nanbai, not only to deter everyone, but also to reward Long Zuzi. As for the old woman, she might be the messenger from the outside world. There must be a lot of treasures on her life, and the sword bearer is not sure that she can kill him. Therefore, the sword bearer chose to kill Nan Bui, and Nan Bui was really killed by him, and the world was shaken. 85%. Chapter 508. Nanbai's decapitation caused huge waves in the human race, even exceeding the impact of Long Zuzi's disappearance. Not long after Nanbai was beheaded, a dragon Zuzi appeared in the southern border of the human race, and continued to suppress the southern border of the human race to prevent the demon cultivator from counterattack. Seeing Long Zuzi appeared, the doubts in everyone's hearts completely disappeared. As for what happened during the time when Long Zuzi disappeared, the explanation given by Janmeng was that they were ambushed by Demon Cultivator, and they were trapped in a place for the first place by the joint efforts of the ancestors of Heart's Demon and Nanbai. After that, the sword bearer went with his sword and even killed Nan Bui. In this way, 99% of the people in the human race have no doubts. As for the remaining people, although they have guesses, they dare not make random guesses. Otherwise, someone will not let him live too long. Soon, news about the selection of the Holy Sun Holy Maiden spread across the entire human race quickly. As soon as this news came out, the Terran boiled again. The Nanbai incident had just cooled down, and the Terran boiled again. There is no fixed time limit for the selection of Saint Sun and Holy Maiden, and it is all decided by the major unions. Now that you all cultivators decide to start the selection of Saint Sun and Holy Maiden, they must have their considerations. However, judging from the current situation, it is indeed possible to start the selection of the Holy Sun Holy Maiden. Because of the news of the fairy tomb, the pressure in the west has increased sharply. If it weren't for the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, Lin Haoyang brought back a magical item of the fairy way, the 5 besieged cities of the 7th Order Monster Emperor, who could hold it. I remember that the human race was defeated on a large scale on the battlefield last time when there was such a scale. Nowadays, there is also a lot of great harmony, and another magical item of fairy Dao, and it has not reached that dangerous situation. As a result, there has been an upsurge in the selection of the Holy Sun Holy Maiden in the human race, because once selected, even if it fails, the cultivation base can be guaranteed to reach the god of transformation. Washan, how many people are still struggling to flee? These people have already booked. But on Bayou Mountain, this wave was the first batch to set off. The clones of Ji Lingxi traveled tens of thousands of miles and came directly from the Jagged City to inform Lin Haoyang and Uyangji to be candidates for the Saint Sun. Everyone was shocked by this result. Firstly, Lin Haoyang was too young and his strength was only the first level of nascent soul. Secondly, Uyangji was too big, and cultivation base was already in the late stage of Washan. Even if you haven't reached the level of transforming God consummation, you are still a powerful existence in the 9th layer of transforming God. Such a person will compete with Lin Haoyang for the Saint Child. There are a lot of geniuses in the line of Ji Ling, so that Cao Ying is the genius of the spiritual roots. With outstanding talents, she has not been selected. This surprised everyone, even Uyangji was a little surprised. One day, he turned out to be a candidate for the Saint Sun. It's really. Regarding this, Lin Haoyang was completely ignorant, competing with Uyangji, how could this compare? Nothing compares at all. Uyangji's immortal cave, and the 4 brothers Lin Haoyang welcomed the clone of Ji Lingxi. Duan Hong, originally this scene was reserved for you, but if your heart's demon is not broken, it is useless for you. Ji Lingxi said. There was a wry smile on Duan Hong's face, which he didn't want. Heart's demon, the demon in the heart, it is so easy to break. Duan Hong looked helpless, shook his head and said. Leave it to junior brother, if I don't kill that person, it will be difficult for me to become a god. No matter how strong it is, I can't pass heart's demon's calamity. Ji Lingxi glanced at Duan Hong, and didn't say more. She knew that he needed to survive the catastrophe by himself, and she, the master, could not help him. Duan Hong had no objection, but Lin Haoyang had an objection, and said with some trepidation. Master, or else give this opportunity to senior brother, with so many resources, it will definitely help him to cultivate to the peak of God transformation. Listening to this, Ji Lingxi looked disgusted and said. Don't mention him, he was the first to get started, and he has only turned the 6th level of God until now. I don't know how many resources have been used on him, it's still like this. Don't refuse you anymore. It's not that you should be a holy son directly, but you have to go through selection. Whether you can succeed or not, I have to say something else. As for the others, it is not enough, there is no need to think about it. Lin Haoyang wanted to say more, but was directly interrupted by Ji Lingxi waved his hand. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang had to shut up and stopped talking. Duan Hong, give me the 5th order teleportation base. Ji Lingxi said. Duan Hong's eyes suddenly brightened. He has been refining this formation for some time. He has not been able to master the Iron Blood City, unable to connect with the Tier 6 main formation of the Iron Blood City, and has not been successfully placed. The formation plate of the 5th order teleportation array fell into the hands of Ji Lingxi, and Dao Dao Lingwen flew out and fell into the formation plate. After a few breaths, the array plate lights up, and the power of the space is immediately urged. Ji Lingxi's deity is in the Jagged City, and it is too simple to connect the main array to it. Go. Ji Lingxi gave a soft drink, and the array flew up in response, instantly falling into a hidden place in Bayou Mountain. The 5th order teleportation array is extremely important, almost equivalent to everyone's retreat. The fewer people who know, the better. As for the aura of the formation, no one saw it except Lin Haoyang, and Ji Lingxi deliberately concealed it. Then, some formation flags flew out and landed beside the 5th order formation, forming a big formation. Looking at this big formation, everyone was slightly surprised. This turned out to be a 6th tier mid-rank big formation. Both offensive and defensive, without the strength of the late stage of the gods, it can't be broken at all. Even if the cultivator came, it could last a few breaths, which was enough for her to come from Jagged City. After doing this, Ji Lingxi was relieved. Well, Uyang, Haoyang, you guys simply prepare, and let me go to Jagged City. There are them here, there is no big problem. Ji Lingxi said. Ouyang Ji nodded and said, the disciple is not prepared, you can set off at any time. Ji Lingxi didn't say anything, and nodded. Lin Haoyang hasn't slowed down a bit. He has received a lot of resources over the years, and his cultivation speed has not been slow, especially in the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda. Help him cultivate to the nascent soul late stage, no problem. However, Ji Lingxi gave him a great opportunity again, which made him feel a little embarrassed. This can be a straight path to the gods, and many people can't ask for it. Lin Haoyang did not hesitate anymore, saying, Master, I have something to say. Ji Lingxi smiled at the corner of his mouth and said, come on, I'll help you solve everything, so you can cultivate with peace of mind. Lin Haoyang felt warm again, saying, thank you master, but this time, I am not talking about a problem, but a chance. Ji Lingxi smiled, this chance is yours and yours, I don't have the slightest greed. Master misunderstood, it is that chance is the secret realm of Ascension's physical strength. I hold it and only my disciples and I can use it. Master and senior brothers have great kindness to me, I would like to ask Master move the secret realm to Bayou Mountain and let everyone use it together. Lin Haoyang said. This time, it was everyone's turn to be shocked. The chance Lin Haoyang said was actually a secret realm. This opportunity is too heaven-defying. Now that the entire Ji Ling line has not mastered a secret realm, Lin Haoyang actually said that he actually has a secret realm, and it is still a secret realm suitable for body cultivator. Even Ji Lingxi's eyes are shining. Sure enough, she was right, Lin Haoyang was a person with great opportunities. 85%. Chapter 509 The Fate of Rainbow Trout Snapper. The secret realm matter is very important, and Ji Lingxi, who originally wanted to bring the two back home quickly, is not so anxious. Generally, secret realm has an opportunity for it. Ji Lingxi had a small chance at the time before he successfully advanced to Hedao. If there is such an opportunity in the secret realm mentioned by Lin Haoyang, the human race will have an extra cultivator to fill in the missing hole of Long Zuzi. However, this premise is that Lin Haoyang is not suitable for the opportunity in his own secret realm. After all, this secret realm was Lin Haoyang's chance, and they couldn't take it forcibly. Of course, Lin Haoyang is really not suitable for this secret realm, and Jianmeng will definitely exchange resources of the same value. For example, the sword washing pool last time could not help people reach the realm of harmony at once, but its value is also immeasurable. Soon, under the leadership of Lin Haoyang, the four went to Lian Valley, and at the same time, Lin Ganlong was also there. Although this secret realm was discovered by Lin Haoyang, this thing was discovered on the apprentice of the Lin family after all, so naturally there is a share of the Lin family. Lin Qianlong is the patriarch of the Lin family, and he naturally represents the Lin family. Moreover, Lin Qianlong knew about the secret realm from Yonggu, and he needed his consent to let the secret realm out. As for this, Ji Lingxi actually does not care very much. A golden core is nothing but a golden core, who can give such an opportunity, Jianmeng will not be stingy. With the help of the teleportation array, everyone quickly rushed to Lian Valley. Over the years, the Lin family has been merged into the Xuanzhen sect, and everyone in the family has become a sect cultivator. However, Lian Valley is the private property of the Lin family and is not counted in the territory of Xuanzhenzong. Because of the secret realm, the spirit power from Yonggu became more and more intense, and it had reached the 4th order peak, and it was only one energy away from the 5th order spiritual vein. When everyone came to the sky above Lian Valley, Ji Lingxi's eyes lit up. The remoteness of this place must have something to do with the secret realm. When everyone came, it happened to be early in the morning, and a ray of purple air slowly rose from the east. The rising sun, Ziyun is coming to the east. As soon as Ji Lingxi pointed out, a wisp of purple air flew from the east, and then fell into the Lian Valley. The purple qi penetrates the ground, penetrates into the ground, and blends into the spirit veins. The spiritual veins away from Yonggu have been nourished by the secret realm spirit power for many years, and they have fully upgraded the capital. The drop of this purple qi is the chance of this spiritual vein. Suddenly, the spirit power surged from the cloud valley, and the spirit power instantly ascension. In the air, Lin Haoyang watched this scene with a smile on his face. He knew that Li Yonggu's spiritual veins had been promoted to the 5th rank. Also happy, there is Lin Qianlong, although they are now members of the Xuanzhen sect. But their roots are still in the Lin family, and the Lin family is stronger, so they can be stronger. For others, it might be a little difficult to upgrade the spirit veins, but for Ji-Link-Si, there is not the slightest difficulty. After a stick of incense, the spirit power of Liangu was completely upgraded to Tier 5. The Lin family cultivator stationed in Lian Valley was even more excited. The 3 golden cores hurriedly took out the sound transmission magic talisman and passed the happy event out the first time. The corner of Lin Haoyang's mouth moved, and the sound transmission fell into the ears of the 3 foundation buildings, asking them to stop struggling. They already knew about this. The faces of the 3 foundation buildings were shocked, and then quickly realized that Li Yonggulingmei's promotion might have something to do with Lin Haoyang. The 3 nodded in the air, and stopped their movements one after another. Although they didn't know what was in Lian Valley, they guessed that there must be a great treasure in Lian Valley. They have been guarding here for many years, and the spirit power that emerged from the central pool has never been cut off one day. Lin Haoyang and the others no longer care about the 3 of them, and led them through the teleportation array, directly into the central pool. There are Ji-Link-Si here, no one finds them, and even formation does not react at all. When he came in, Lin Haoyang took a look. The spiritual and medicinal fields he had worked so hard to open up had become extremely open. Because of the great changes in geography, the central water pool has exceeded 1 kilometer, and the surrounding land is also tens of thousands of acres in size. The spiritual fields and medicinal fields that have been opened up now exceed 1,000 acres, and the land is full of spiritual rice and medicinal fragrances. Here, it has become the most important place in the Lin family, and every year a large number of spirit stones can be credited to the Lin family. Lin Haoyang is very happy. After all, this is the place where he really entered the path. There is also his exclusive immortal cave, which is still. When the crowds shuttled in the bottom of the lake, a big fish more than 10 meters long came over. Ji-Link-Si narrowed her eyes and was about to start her hands. She regarded this fish as demonic beasts who had entered this place by mistake. Judging from its breath, this rainbow trout has become a Tier 4 demonic beasts. Such strength is an absolute disaster for the Lin family outside. Therefore, Ji-Link-Si wanted to help him get rid of it. Master, accept mercy, this fish is destined to me, don't hurt it. Lin Haoyang hurriedly said, for fear that the rainbow trout snapper might be slapped to death by Ji-Link-Si. Hearing this, Ji-Link-Si didn't do anything again. It was just a Tier 4 demonic beasts, which she could wipe out in one breath. The king of rainbow trout snapper, feeling the breath of Ji-Link-Si, was also scared to death. The breath given to it by these people was too terrifying, and any one of them could easily kill it. Don't be afraid. It's your chance to become enlightened here. You and I are destined. If you are willing to help me guard Lian Valley, I can give you a good fortune. Lin Haoyang said. The rainbow trout snapper hesitated for a while, and then nodded its head. It had given birth to spirituality and understood Lin Haoyang's meaning. In addition, since Lin Haoyang came to Lian Valley, he has been feeding them, and he still has a good impression of the Lin family. Is it even going to be fed some spiritual rice, elixir, so that it can live a very comfortable life? Its strength has also soared. Later, the secret realm spirit power leaked, and its strength grew faster, so it successfully advanced to Tier 4 demonic beasts. Lin Haoyang didn't say anything, a finger popped out, and a Tier 4 top-grade demonic beasts flew out and fell into the rainbow trout snapper. At the same time, a drop of good fortune orb flew out and merged into the rainbow trout sea bream. Before it was over, Lin Haoyang took out 5 top grades, flicked his finger, and stopped in front of the rainbow trout snapper. All this was so fast, I was stunned to see the rainbow trout snapper. It has been living in the central pool. It has never seen these things. But it knows that this thing is a rare treasure. No, it has become a Tier 4 top-grade demonic beasts, and it also has an inner pill in its body, but compared with this Tier 4 top-grade demonic beasts, there is still a gap. The rainbow trout snapper opened its mouth and swallowed the inner alchemy and the top-grade spirit stones into its mouth. On the rainbow trout snapper, the spirit power skyrocketed. After a few breaths, the rainbow trout snapper was successfully promoted to the middle grade of Tier 4. As for the 4th tier high grade, I am afraid that it will not be promoted in a short time, but with that 4th tier high grade inner alchemy, promotion is only a matter of time. In particular, the good fortune orb is the best opportunity for rainbow trout sea bream to transform the interior of rainbow trout sea bream. The good fortune orb can not only restore the physical body, but also Lin Haoyang's original power is contained in it. This good fortune orb is the capital for its promotion to Tier 5. After the rainbow trout had swallowed everything, he bowed to Lin Haoyang, which was regarded as a gratitude to Lin Haoyang. 85%. Chapter 510 Extreme Thunder Practicing Physical Domain. In response, Lin Haoyang just nodded. He was indeed related to this rainbow trout snapper. At the beginning, the fragment of yolk was found in it. If it weren't for it, Lin Haoyang would not have been where it is now. It is very likely that he was buried in the belly of demonic beasts a long time ago, so it is a fate. The drop of good fortune orb he gave it also contained a trace of original power. Besides, no one had dealt with it here. It was only a matter of time to advance to Tier 5 in the future. Not staying here, everyone followed Lin Haoyang to the secret realm entrance. As in the past, a large number of rainbow trout snappers and even some other fish gathered here. However, the strength of these fishes is still weak, and the strongest ones are only the third-order middle stage. Demonic beasts of this kind cannot threaten the Lin family cultivator stationed outside. Besides, there is the king of rainbow trout and sea bream sitting here. These fish demonic beasts, how dare to resist? Lin Haoyang flicked his finger, revealing the power of nascent soul cultivator. The fish school was frightened and fled in all directions. The entrance to the realm appeared in front of everyone. Compared to the past, the spirit power leaked inside and outside the secret realm is no longer so serious, but there are still many outsiders. These newly leaked spirit powers are extremely pure, equivalent to the spirit power of the 6th order spiritual veins. Even if they are very thin, they are better than the 5th order spirit power outside. Moreover, Li Yonggu was only a 4th order high-grade spirit vein before, and it was even more beautiful in comparison. No longer thinking about it, everyone flashed around and followed Lin Haoyang into it. After a while, everyone entered the secret realm. Suddenly a strong spirit power surged in, and Lin Haoyang could feel that the spirit power here had reached the level of the 6th order peak. Leaking for so many years, the impact on this place is almost negligible. When Ji Lingxi and the others saw the scene in the secret realm, their faces suddenly became ecstatic. Although Lin Haoyang is a person of the Dharma body line, he doesn't know much about body cultivator cultivation. His cultivation base ascension was too fast. He had already entered the next realm before he had time to understand one realm. Moreover, his physical training method is extremely simple, constantly using resources to ascension physical strength and strength. Futu Xuanjun Ju and Good Fortune Zhou Heavenly Tribulation are both top-notch methods, which have paved the way for Lin Haoyang. Don't use his brain too much, just follow the cultivation. So, apart from some things about resuscitation, Lin Haoyang really didn't know much. Now that he enters the secret realm again, he still has a black eye and doesn't understand much. As for Lin Qianlong, he understands even less, and compared with last time, the gap is not big. It's wonderful. This place is simply built for my Ji Ling line. Little junior brother, why didn't you worship the master's door early? Zhao Duanlong looked excited, and was completely stunned by the scenes before him. Yes, Master Xin Hao didn't have eyesight back then, so he accepted the younger brother, otherwise it would be my very spiritual line, the biggest loss. Duan Hong also echoed. As for Ji Lingxi, even though it was only a clone, he was shocked at this moment. Ignoring the ridicule of Zhao Duanlong and Duan Hong at all, they moved towards the secret realm in an instant. It was also the first time for Lin Haoyang that Ji Lingxi was so miserable. It seemed that the value of this secret realm was still above Lin Haoyang's imagination. At this moment, Lin Qianlong seemed a little out of place. In his opinion, these things were very tasteless. No matter how good they were, he was not interested. After all, he does not cultivate the flesh. As long as the cultivation base ascension is up, he can be promoted. As for fighting the body cultivator, the strongest line of the human body cultivator is his own. Is there any need to worry about this? There are rumors that for all human body cultivators, Ji Lingxi can mobilize 80%. Even if you don't want to be mobilized by it, you have to give Ji Lingxi a face. Therefore, he is not afraid to face the body cultivator, because from a certain perspective, everyone is his own. The speed of Ji Lingxi and others was too fast, and instantly turned into an afterimage, disappearing into the air, and Lin Qianlong couldn't catch up. Seeing this, Lin Haoyang was also helpless. It seems that he really underestimated the value of Secret Realm. No way, he can only take Lin Qianlong and rush forward. After half an hour, Ji Lingxi and others finally stopped in front of a chaotic forest. Looking at the chaotic woods in front of me, here, Lin Haoyangji has also been here, and only thinks that the wood here is all bufin, which is likely to be a treasure. Looking at it now, these pieces of wood are really precious. The gods will never die from the thunder, and they will turn into thunder-struck wood. The wood piled up here is all lightning strike wood. A small section of lightning strike wood is the treasure of refining the thunder magical item. And the lightning strike wood here has accumulated a full half of the valley, which is too much. With Lin Haoyang's current eyesight, he found that there are still many good spirit trees that have reached the 6th rank among the trees struck by lightning. There are still others, even Lin Haoyang can't see through, and it is possible that they have reached the terrifying 7th rank. 7th rank lightning strikes wood. It is a treasure that a cultivator must be attracted to. Even if it is to refine the 7th order treasure, that is completely enough. This is why the 7 great combinations don't know, otherwise there will be such a large number of thunder blocks in the news. I am afraid the 7 great combinations cultivator will try their best to grab it. Ji Lingxi all smiled wildly. These are all hers now. So many lightning strikes are enough to refine 6 or 7 tier 7 thunder magical items. Master, these are lightning strikes. At this moment, Lin Haoyang was a little unsure if it was true. Then he owns a golden mountain. Even if he is not selected as the saint child, there will be no shortage of spirit stones. Not only him, but the Lin family will not be sure. Of course, Lin Haoyang was still limited to the Lin family, and did not extend to the entire Xuanzhen sect. After all, this thing was discovered on the Lin family's own chassis. Moreover, it was discovered before Xuanzhen sect was established. Lin Haoyang is also selfish. Although he is the sect leader of Xuanzhen sect, he is also a member of the Lin family. He has never forgotten this. Lightning strike wood. Who dares to touch the lightning strike wood here? I will slap him to death. I know, you want to use these lightning woods to refine magical item, but if you think so, you are not a fool, the biggest fool in the world. Lin Haoyang almost didn't get scolded to death when he asked. Zhao Duanlong's 3 people all smiled smirkly when they saw this. Obviously, the 3 of them also saw something, but they didn't tell Lin Haoyang. When Lin Haoyang asked, he was scolded bloody. Ji Lingxi cursed a stick of incense time, then stopped and said. These lightning strikes are a formation. If I guess it is right, this formation should be called Extreme Thunder Training Domain. Lin Haoyang frowned. He really hadn't heard of it. Listen to its name, it should be related to physical training and thunder. For a time, Lin Haoyang had many thoughts and couldn't help connecting him with thunder tribulation. Although the thunder tribulation caused great damage, almost half of the people who were promoted died under the thunder tribulation, which is clearly horrible. Even demonic beasts was very afraid of thunder tribulation. I have to say that although Lei Jia is dangerous in Henan, it is also a great opportunity. After experiencing thunder tribulation, the human body and demonic beasts will have a qualitative leap. Lin Haoyang opened a lot of acupoints during the last transcends tribulation, which shows that the benefits of thunder calamity are great. 85%. Chapter 511. Therefore, these lightning strike woods are the cornerstones of the extremely thunder training physical domain. Once the lightning strike woods are extracted, this special realm will crash immediately. Lin Haoyang suddenly burst into cold sweat on his forehead, and he was very lucky. He had seen these lightning strikes before. Xin Hao didn't take away some of the lightning wood, otherwise, it would really be a big loss. No longer chatting with Lin Haoyang, Ji Lingxi walked around the lightning bolt, and finally frowned. If you want to spur this extreme thunder, I'm afraid you need some media. Lin Haoyang was taken aback for a moment. That's right, how should this extremely thunderous physical domain be motivated? The spirit power here is extremely rich, and it hasn't been seen to have much effect. These spirit powers seem to have little effect on these lightning strikes. With Lin Haoyang's current eyesight, he didn't see how to motivate this extremely thunderous training body. At this moment, even Zhao Duanlong and others looked at Ji Lingxi curiously. Did they know this thing? These lightning strikes have been silent here for tens of thousands of years, and the spirit power within it has been somewhat decayed. If it were not for the relatively stable environment here, these things would have been turned into ashes. If you forcibly urge the extreme thunder to practice physical domain, I am afraid that more than 50% of the thunder tribulation wood will collapse in an instant, and the remaining 50% will also damage most of the thunder strike wood and be downgraded. The loss at that time is beyond imagination. Thunderstones can only be used to supplement the lightning power in these lightning strikes, so that these lightning strikes will not be destroyed. Lin Haoyang frowned. He had also heard of the world's spiritual creature, this thunderstone. Thunder is in control of destruction, life and death, and everything is conceived in thunder. The world was born in the thunder and destroyed under the thunder. Thunderstone is a kind of heaven and earth spiritual creature born in thunder. No one knows where it came from and why it was born. But the Thunderstone is too rare, even more than Thunderbolt wood, and its value is even comparable to the seventh order spiritual creature. This sort of thing is too valuable, and there hasn't been too much in the history of the human race. According to records, the sword bearer received 7 yuan from a piece of thunder. I don't know if there is any remaining in these years. Master, Lei Shi, where is the sword bearer senior? There should be a few faster. Zhao Duanlong asked in a low voice. Ji Lingxi nodded and said, there should be 3 more for him. I will ask for them all by then, but 3 thunderstones are not enough. 3 thunderstones can open up nascent soul level training. It takes at least 10 yuan to open the God of Transformation level, and at least 50 thunderstones to provide thunder power to open the training body of the aura level, otherwise it is easy to collapse. Quote. As soon as these words came out, everyone was shocked again. The power of this formation was a bit terrifying. As long as there are 50 thunderstones, it can be combined to cultivate the flesh. In harmony, cultivation has reached this stage, except for years to grind, and it is extremely difficult to go further. There is no way. After the cultivation base reaches Hidao, there are too few treasures that can help them cultivate. Finding this extremely thunder training domain now is a good way for ascension strength. However, 50 thunderstones are too hard to find. Don't worry, this treasure land has a great effect on them. There are 2 other treasure land, which are also enough for cultivator cultivation. You can also get a lot of opportunities here, Ji Lingxi said. After that, Ji Lingxi's eyes narrowed, and he looked at Lin Haoyang and Lin Ganlong and said, this precious place is priceless. Please mention what conditions do you have. As long as I can do it, I will promise you. Lin Haoyang and Lin Qianlong looked at each other. They knew that the secret realm here is extremely precious, but what can it be exchanged for? To be honest, with Lin Qianlong's current vision, he didn't even know that there was something worthy of this secret realm. After being silent for a while, Lin Qianlong said, please also senior. Shelter my Lin family. Yes, Lin Qianlong was not talking about Xuanzhenzong, but the Lin family. After all, this secret realm is the personal property of the Lin family. Thousands of years later, people like them may pass away. When the time comes, Xuanzhen sect will still be Xuanzhen sect. With the support of all parties, Xuanzhenzong is likely to endure for a long time, especially since Baiyu Mountain has the flag of the Sword Alliance, and wants to make Xuanzhenzong perish. Unless the monster army breaks through the human defense and a large area is lost, the Xuanzhen sect will never perish. Unless Xuanzhenzong is dead by himself and betrays the human race, if it is so stupid, Lin Haoyang thinks it would be better to destroy it as soon as possible. There is no need to worry about Xuanzhenzong, it is the Lin family who really needs to worry. Although Xuanzhenzong takes care of him, who knows how long the Lin family can resist. If demonic beast suddenly bypasses Baiyu Mountain and attacks the internal area, who can stop the Lin family? Although there is a teleportation formation, who can guarantee that the Lin family must be fine? No one dared. Lin Qianlong didn't dare, Lin Haoyang didn't dare. Especially, after it learned that someone in the Sword League wanted to get rid of him, he became even more afraid, unable to deal with him, and unable to deal with a small Lin family. This is too simple, but the other party can easily mobilize the existence of a cultivator who wants to destroy the Lin family. Don't be too simple. Moreover, what can be done is silent. Sometimes, Lin Haoyang is also afraid when he provokes such a powerful enemy. He is not afraid of losing his life, but worried that something will happen to the people around him. Yes, I will leave some methods in the Lin family. Even if it is attacked by the cultivator, it can kill the kind. Ji Lingxi said. Listening to this, Lin Qianlong and Lin Haoyang were in ecstasy. Ji Lingxi was too powerful, so that he would have no worries about the future. No other request. Lin Ganlong said. With Ji Lingxi's promise, Lin Qianlong had no other request, and he could not think of any other request. Today's Lin family, under the leadership of Lin Haoyang, is thriving, and he has no requirements. As for himself, he has no requirements. With Lin Haoyang's care, he has no shortage of cultivation resources. Even if he cultivates to the peak of golden core in the future, Lin Haoyang will find breakthrough treasures for him, so he doesn't have to worry at all. In that case, why bother to waste this favor and keep it forever? When the Lin family encounters difficulties in the future, they can still find the line of the most spiritual son. Ji Lingxi nodded. He understood what Lin Qianlong meant, so he didn't ask more. Looking at Lin Haoyang didn't ask for anything. Today, he is nominated as the Son of God, and there is no shortage of resources at all. No way, Ji Lingxi can only owe a huge favor to the Lin family. She arranged some arrangements in the Lin family and made the Lin family a railway communication. To be honest, such a back player, the general 6th rank force, could not have it, but the 5th rank family like the Lin family did. That's right, at the moment when Lin Haoyang broke through the nascent soul, the Lin family suddenly became the 5th rank family, surpassing the previous ones. After solving the troubles, Ji Lingxi and Zhao Duanlong took half a year to move the secret realm to Baiyu Mountain. Baiyu Mountain now has a Tier 5 teleportation array. Even if it is blocked by demonic beasts, it won't be a big problem. Unless the Iron Blood City is broken, Ji Lingxi is responsible for guarding the Iron Blood City. Once the Iron Blood City is broken, it also means that Ji Lingxi is also likely to die. Therefore, Baiyushan is safe. 85%. Chapter 512 The Land of Source Law. The secret realm was placed in the body of Baiyu Mountain. The entrance was near Zhao Duanlong's immortal cave. If you want to enter, you will inevitably not escape Zhao Duanlong's sight. In this way, the security of the secret realm has absolute certainty. According to the statistics of Ji Lingxi, there are 27 chances for this secret realm. Among them, there are 9 chances for Golden Core, 9 chances for Nascent Soul, 6 chances for transforming gods, and 3 chances for joining together. However, there were only 15 opportunities left in the big collision between the past 20,000 years and those years. The Julong array used by Lin Haoyang back then was one of the Golden Core opportunities. The most unfortunate thing is that there are 3 opportunities to join together, and there is only one that can be used. Even so, it was enough to be used by the extremely spiritual line. Even Zhao Duanlong and Ouyang Ji took turns to enter it and gained a lot of opportunities. As for how much he gained, Lin Haoyang didn't know. It took another half a year, and the selection of Saint Sun and Holy Maiden was also delayed. After the secret realm was placed, Ji Lingxi Dang even left Baiyu Mountain with Lin Haoyang and Ouyang Ji, and through the transmission array, came to a restricted area, the Land of Source Law. Here, the rules of heaven and earth are very clear, and cultivating here is much easier than in the outside world. The source of all paths, so here is called the place of origin. Such a treasured land, sacred land, which was supposed to be a practitioner, will never become a restricted area. Only after discovering this place, a large number of cultivators poured into it, trying to understand the source of all paths. At this time, disaster struck, and within the source of 10,000 paths, there were dense cracks in space. Those who entered it back then did not keep 1 out of 10, and only a handful of people escaped. Moreover, most of the people who came out alive were crazy, and Dao Heart collapsed. The disaster was too tragic. 50 people were torn apart by the flight attendant's cracks. In the last second, I was still alive, talking and laughing with you, and in the next second, I became a corpse, and I couldn't even call for help. Space cracks are invisible. You don't know how to die when you die. Along the way, Ji Lingxi also warned Lin Haoyang that even if the space cracks were something he encountered, he wouldn't dare to be careless. With this opportunity, Ji Lingxi specially gave some treasures. Lin Haoyang had a total of 3 death charms. Without this, entering the Land of Source Law, it felt like death. However, the death talisman cannot be used all the time. 3 times in a short period of time is the limit. Otherwise, Divine Soul would not be able to bear it. After all, instead of the death talisman, it blocked a death crisis. Other treasures, mostly defense and discovery treasures, all increase Lin Haoyang's chance of survival in the place of origin. As for Ouyang Ji, Ji Lingxi only gave a death talisman. Ouyang Zibin is the existence of Washan Peak, and other things don't need Ji Lingxi to worry about. However, the death charm that was enough for Ouyang Ji to use once was extremely precious, perhaps even more precious than all the treasures given to Lin Haoyang combined. Ouyang Ji is too strong. Refining such a death replacement talisman, Ji Lingxi itself has also incorporated a drop of blood essence, otherwise, it will not achieve the effect of death replacement at all. Such a death charm, its value and horror are comparable to some half-step 7th order magical items. It can be seen that Ji Lingxi has also lost his blood this time. When Lin Haoyang arrived, all the 36 people who participated in the selection of the Holy Maiden were all here. Among them, there are 24 lively male cultivators and 12 female cultivators. Of course, this Holy Sun, Holy Maiden is just a title. It is possible to become a double Holy Son, or a double Holy Maiden, all depends on ability. After being sent to the land of the Source Law, Ji-Lingxi left. She still had to sit in the Iron Blood City, and could not leave for too long. As for the place of origin, naturally someone will host it, so she doesn't need to worry about it. The land of Source Law is in a mist, and the strength is not enough to find its existence. However, there is no need for Lin Haoyang and others to worry about this, and soon someone will come to greet him. The person here is a cultivator, and he pays great attention to Lin Haoyang and others. Transcendence. Absolutely high level. Na Huashan was also very polite to Lin Haoyang and others. In fact, the two of Lin Haoyang were indeed over here, and the others had arrived as early as January. Because Lin Haoyang hadn't arrived, everyone couldn't enter the land of the Source Law. These days, these geniuses who came to participate in the selection were quite criticized. As the host here, it is impossible without any opinion, but facing Wu Yangji and Lin Haoyang, he really dare not. Not to mention the Ji-Lingxi behind him, Wu Yangji himself has the strength, and he is not daring to provoke him. Among the humanized gods, Wu Yangji can rank in the top 5. Who dares to underestimate such a terrifying combat power? Besides, Lin Haoyang, although his strength is only at the nascent soul level, his credit has surpassed most people by 9. The outside world doesn't know. He, a member of the Sword League, can he still know? Regardless of the merits of the Fairy Tomb or the merits of the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda, Lin Haoyang was a success to the entire human race. Even the swordsman said that he owed him a favor. It's better not to provoke such a character. Moreover, the other party is now selected as one of the Holy Sons. As long as he does not die, he will become a god of transformation in the future. His cultivation base is nothing to be proud of. Of course, the prerequisite is immortality. Although the selection of the Saint Child is a human force, it is still extremely dangerous, and the death rate is very high. Just like this time in the land of the Source Law, Ji-Lingxi prepared 3 substitute death charms for him, which is enough to explain the horror. After a few greetings between the cultivator and Lin Haoyang and others, they led them into the mist. These mists are shielded by divine sense. Even if Wu Yangji, it is difficult to explore too far, let alone Lin Haoyang. If it hadn't been for the cultivator to take out a token that was posted on another token, which could dispel the fog in the surrounding 10-meter range, Lin Haoyang might have lost it. After about a quarter of an hour, Lin Haoyang and others finally walked out of the fog. Inside, the fog dissipated, and there was not much inside. It was only on the edge. Some buildings, farther away, were completely dark. Darkness is the place where the 2 closed-door training will be in the next 5 years. Wherever they are, it is the land of Source Law. These buildings were later built by Zhanmeng, and they were of no use. Now I took the 2 to meet the others and saw them. Be careful. The cultivator smiled without saying clearly. However, Lin Haoyang and the 2 could also guess what was going on. After the 2 had been delayed for such a long time, the others naturally had opinions. However, they are not worried. If you follow the path of cultivating, if you place too much emphasis on the opinions of others, what can you do? If others have opinions, it will be a big fight. Without hesitation, Lin Haoyang and 2 of them stepped into the building in an instant. In an instant, more than 30 divine senses projected and fell on them. Some were curious, some were warm and angry. Lin Haoyang and the 2 did not care and found a room to live in. Wu Yangji, it's such a big face to have so many colleagues waiting for you too. Just after entering the room, a man's voice came in. Wu Yangji smiled contemptuously at the corner of his mouth and said, Wu Shichang, don't talk nonsense. The 7 seniors didn't say anything. Where would it be your turn to say what? Fight. You didn't get enough, right? 86%. Chapter 513. Wu Shichang, the eldest disciple of Kun Yuanzi, is a powerful existence of the 9th level of transforming god. In the Sword League, the absolute big take level figure was suppressed by Wu Yangji at this moment. Although Wu Yangji and Wu Shichang are both cultivators of the 9th level of god transformation, in terms of strength, Wu Yangji is still stronger. Wu Yangji is already purifying his own body, pursuing the unsullied body, and has found the way to enter Hidao. Although Wu Shichang is the same as the 9th level of transforming god, he is stuck, and his understanding of the realm of Hidao is definitely not as deep as Wu Yangji. In the past, Wu Shichang and Wu Yangji played several times, but most of them were Wu Yangji better. Especially the most recent time, Wu Yangji's immaculate body was small, and his strength went further. That time Wu Shicheng was defeated miserably. After a fight, Wu Shicheng even suffered serious injuries. He is also a disciple of Hidao. He is still the chief disciple, but he is defeated by the second child of the extremely spiritual line. For Wu Shicheng, this is simply a shame. Wu Shicheng has always held a grudge, and has always wanted to find Ouyangji to find his factory. However, Ouyangji has been very low-key over the past few years and has been guarding the East China Sea with all his strength. He has never found a chance. This time the selection of the Saint Sun, he also entered, but the people of the extremely spiritual line were delayed in coming, and it was delayed for a full month. At that time, he wanted to use the general trend to suppress Ouyangji, but he did not expect to be humiliated by Ouyangji. How could Wu Shicheng endure it? Since the last time, he has been more devoted to cultivation, and his strength has greatly improved. The breath of the 9 layers of the gods was washed away in an instant, and this building was somewhat unbearable. Although there is formation suppression here, the formation here is not enough to suppress the breath of Washan Peak. Before these people gathered together, they suppressed their own breath. Now Wu Shicheng unfolds without hesitation. These buildings are suddenly unbearable and tend to collapse. Wu Shicheng, if you want to fight, get out and fight. A Taoist shadow flew out of a house. His face was full of coldness, facing Wu Shicheng who was bursting out with all his strength. He was not afraid at all. This person was carrying a long sword behind his back, which was very ordinary, and Lin Haoyang looked at it as if it were an ordinary sword of iron. It was inconspicuous, but the more so, Lin Haoyang was even more shocked. The treasure said to himself that this long sword is definitely an amazing magical item. It's okay if it doesn't get out of the sheath. Once it gets out of the sheath, it's bound to fall apart. Seeing this person, Wu Shicheng's momentum suddenly weakened, and cultivation base reached his level. Except for the 7 strong people in the same way, it stands to reason that there should be no opponents to fear. Even if you can't fight, escape is never a problem. But facing this person, facing the long sword, he was a little timid, and intuitively told him that the other party was very dangerous, extremely dangerous. The sword bearer is the big disciple of the sword bearer Qin Yan. The next generation of sword bearers is the most advantageous competitor, and is also known as the strongest person in the realm of transformation. Although Ouyangji could also rank in the top 3 in Washan, he was not sure about Shi Mu. Therefore, Shi Mu became the most hopeful person to become a philosopher. Shi Mu, if I don't do it, can I let them continue like this? The selection of Holy Maiden, the Holy Sun, is of great importance. Is it really necessary to delay the 2 of them like this? We don't have so much time. Wu Shicheng said. Shi Mu's brows constricted, as Wu Shicheng said, if Ouyangji and Lin Haoyang are not punished, everyone follows them, and the selection of Saint Sun and Holy Maiden will probably be messed up. However, even though he is the first person in the transformation of gods, he has no right to punish Ouyangji. Cultivation base has reached this point, and even Hidao cannot easily attack the transformation of God's cultivator. Why, Shi Mu, do you want to do something with me? Recently, my strength has increased. It just so happens that I want to try your sword too. After Ouyangji said, a pair of 10-fingered slender palms stretched out, but they looked like a mysterious jade. When Lin Haoyang saw it, his eyes were full of shock, because the color of the mysterious jade was the manifestation of the unsullied body. Could it be that Ouyangji has been trained into an innocent body? When Wu Shicheng saw Ouyangji's hands, his eyes were full of incredible colors. He and Ouyangji fought many times. He also knew that Ouyangji had been cultivating the non-scaling body, but he knew that this non-scaling body could not be cultivated casually. Now, the hands that Ouyangji shows are a manifestation of practice. Hands are like jade, without impurities. This is the embodiment of the innocent body. Of course, it will not usually appear, otherwise it will be too conspicuous. Just like Lin Haoyang, no one noticed at this moment that Lin Haoyang had already become an innocent body. Ouyangji also showed it by himself, and everyone can discover the mystery. Now that the unsullied body is exposed, the expressions of all the people present here have changed wildly. Just as Ouyangji said, the strength of a person who has been trained into an innocuous body is not what it used to be, and it is definitely stronger than before. Shi Mu's expression sank. If it was Ouyangji in the past, although his body was extremely powerful, his sword could still break through his defenses. In the face of Ouyangji who has cultivated into an innocent body, can his sword break through Ouyangji's defenses? If he can't break the defense, with Uyangji's powerful body, it is impossible for him to defeat Uyangji. You know, in addition to the powerful physical body, Ji Lingxi's line is extremely powerful. A punch and a palm, with the power of destroying the world. Just looking at Ji Lingxi's battle, she knew that she was the only one who could fight the Black Dragon Demon Emperor hand to hand. But soon, the shock in Shi Mu's eyes disappeared, and the peace of the past was restored, saying, "You have not fully practiced this unsullied body. As long as it is not fully practiced, the inconvenience will not be able to stop my sword. If it can't stop, you may lose your life." Hearing this, Uyangji didn't refute. Cultivation base came to realm. Some things couldn't be hidden. Shi Mu saw his weakness at a glance. As Shi Mu said, Uyangji's unsullied body has not yet been fully trained. However, half of his body has been successfully transformed into an unsullied body, although it does not have the strong defense of the complete body. But his hands are no longer any different from the unsullied body. Attacks that were unstoppable in the past can also be blocked now. If I really want to attack his body, I have to break his hands. Shi Mu is very strong, but can he really break his hands? Uyangji also didn't know this kind of thing, only if I tried. I knew it. Therefore, in fact, he was also looking forward to another fight with Shi Mu. He didn't know before. Among the 7 great Hidao disciples, only he is the second child, and everyone is hostile to him because of his existence, which has caused them to be criticized. No one wants to be compared by the second child. If Zhao Duanlong came in person, they wouldn't be like that. After all, he was the big brother of the Jiling line. But everyone knows that Zhao Duanlong was stuck on the 6th floor of Washan. He has not made any progress for many years, and he can't even enter the late stage of Washan. Such a person, although not weak, is not a big threat to them, because Hidao has never had the chance to become Hidao in his entire life. If they are not in harmony, everything is empty and has no effect on them. 86%. Chapter 514. Although Zhao Duanlong is not strong, Uyangji is not weak. He has amazing talent in the body cultivator. If it hadn't been for not enough combat exploits, he would have opened the sword washing pond long ago, and he would have cultivated an innocent body. Once he has cultivated into an innocent body, he can be considered half-footed into the realm of Hidao. Between Washan and Hidao, there is also a small realm, which is called the realm of entering the Dao. It is about the existence of these half-feet stepping into the Hidao. For thousands of years, the human race has had countless geniuses, and there have been a lot of powerhouses who have been stuck in the realm of Taoism. Nowadays, there are many people in the human race who are stuck in the realm of transforming gods and entering the Tao. These people are generally closed-door training cultivation and will not be born. These people are the background of the human race, and the powerful people who enter the path, although they are not defeated by the 7th Order Demon Emperor, but the combination of 5 or 6 people can also temporarily block the 7th Order Demon Emperor. Therefore, those who are strong in the Tao will generally not take action, unless the human race has reached the brink of destruction, will use these inner powers. Because once they are used, they will almost certainly die. Everyone in the room is at war. After all, this time, everyone is an opponent. Uyangji has become so strong now that he can lose one opponent, and naturally it will be one less threat. Moreover, in addition to Uyangji, Ji Ling's line also came out of a monster like Lin Haoyang, and heard that he also entered the sword-washing pond. His feats were so frightening. Such a character, although it is only nascent soul, but who dares to look down upon it, just because of luck, let alone nascent soul, even the god of transformation present here can't hold it down. It would be great if we could take advantage of this and get both of them out of the game. However, everyone does not want to be such a prosperous person, but since Wu Shicheng has taken such a head, they are naturally willing to add fuel to the side. This fire. The more it burns, the better it will be for them. Just when the atmosphere was extremely tense, 3 extremely powerful auras from afar came, instantly drowning everyone. When Lin Haoyang was swept by this breath, he couldn't help but change his expression. This force was too powerful. He has only seen this breath in a few great Hidaos. Could it be that the 3 Hidaos came? This is absolutely impossible. There are a total of 7 human races, so how could it be possible to come here with 3? After a while, the 3 of them came to the front, but Lin Haoyang had never seen the 3 of them, and all of them had old faces. An old woman, 2 old men, and 3 of them stepped into the air, full of anger. Would you like to fight? Come on, have been with our old man. I haven't done it for thousands of years, just because my hands are itchy. An old man said. Looking at the people coming, the faces of several cultivators were shocked. Obviously, they knew these people. 3 seniors, it's just a small matter, how did you wake up? Shimu was a little shocked. Others don't know, but he knows that these 3 are all human treasures, and time is precious. Usually sleeping, and there is no annihilation, and they will not wake up. He didn't believe it. For Uyangji's trivial matter, he was able to alarm these 3. Even if they smashed the ground here today, they would not be able to wake up these 3. At this moment, all 3 of them have regained consciousness, and there is only one possibility. These 3 are responsible for the selection of Saint Child and Holy Maiden. In the past selections of Holy Maiden, there would be no strong people like them to join, but this time, because of Long Zuzi, John Mang had to increase the quota. Including Uyangji, etc., the late stage of the God of Transformation, the Sword League has also laid a blood capital. Their cultivation base is too strong, and the cultivation resources needed are too large. 5, 10, and 30 times the cultivation resources are enough to use the sword. The resources accumulated by the League over the years have been exhausted. But there is no way, the current situation of the human race is too dangerous. If there is no new cultivator to support the scene, the situation of the human race will soon collapse. Therefore, the 7 great combinations will not hesitate to immediately start the selection of the sun, in order to use resources to pile up 2 combinations to alleviate the current crisis situation. HMPH. This time the selection of Holy Maiden of the Holy Sun, since you have participated, except for the 7 great combinations, we are not going out of the mountain, who can hold you down? If we are not here today, are you going to make this place upside down? The Ji Lingxi Senior has already said hello before, and Uyangji and the others will arrive later. We are not in a hurry, we didn't punish them, you are more anxious than us, how about our work, you come to do it. Wu Shichang, what do you think? The old woman stared at Wu Shichang, a little annoyed. Originally, she didn't want to take this job. They had more important things, but Qin Yan personally awakened them and asked them to preside over the selection of Holy Maiden. They don't know why the 7 great combinations of today waste such a large amount of resources to pile up the combinations, but the sword bearer actually spoke, and even used them. Then they can only execute orders, because there are Shimu and others. They can take them for 5 years at most, and after 5 years, Shimu and the others may be able to surpass them. But now, even Shimu, the first person to transform the gods, is not their opponent. Although they did not have the same Tao, they had already entered the Tao and realized the existence of Tao. Although Shimu was strong, they were stronger. Otherwise, it will not be regarded as a backhand. As for how many such powerful people are in the human race, even Qin Yan doesn't know. These talents will come out only when the human race is most in danger. These 3 have something to do with Qin Yan, otherwise, Qin Yan would not be able to wake them up. Wu Shichang's expression changed. If others would be somewhat jealous of him because he was Kun Yuanzi's disciple, it would be absolutely impossible for these 3. Even if Kun Yuanzi is here, in terms of seniority, it is not as good as these 3 people. The 3 beat him up, and Kun Yuanzi will not help him. For the existence of these backgrounds, Hidao Cultivator is very polite. I don't dare, I just think that the selection of Holy Maiden is too important and should not be delayed at will. Since the senior said hello in advance, I am reckless. Wu Shichang said. Seeing this, the 3 old men looked a little better. If Wu Shichang insisted on holding on to this matter, then they would really look down on Wu Shichang. I want to be in harmony, but I am angry with these trivialities. Dao heart is not enough. How can I be in harmony? I am afraid that I can't even enter the Dao. The 3 old men qualitatively said, just glanced at Uyangji and Lin Haoyang, and continued. The old 3 are the inspectors who will judge whether you want to carry out the next round of training. Your resources are also distributed by me. If we think you can't do it, we won't give you any more resources. Your first stop is the place of source law. You have to make the rules of perception. Only by comprehending the rules, does it mean that you have the qualifications to step into Hidao. Nascent soul wants to realize the power of a rule, the 3 ways of transforming the gods. Those that can't be reached. Eliminated. During this period, you have enough resources. Even if your talent is strong, 5 times the resources are definitely enough. Lin Haoyang had known some of these problems a long time ago, but the requirement to comprehend the power of the rules caused him a headache. Isn't this thing that can be touched after transforming the gods? He just stepped into nascent soul. 86%. Chapter 515. After a brief introduction, Lin Haoyang and others were divided into two groups and brought to different areas. Because the cultivation base gap between nascent soul and Washan is too big, nascent soul and Washan are also separated. This is also necessary. If the god of transformation wants to understand the three rules, he must go deep into the land of the source law. Lin Haoyang didn't know how many rules the cultivator had mastered, but the three elders gave them 3 ways. Obviously, it is not a simple matter that the cultivator wants to understand the power of the rules. This makes Lin Haoyang and other nascent soul cultivators feel more difficult. It is still a headache for the power to understand the rules, let alone them. But since it's here, it's useless to worry. Lin Haoyang and other nascent soul cultivators totaled 21 people, and they were led by the old woman who was irritable before. Knowing that he had a bad temper, Lin Haoyang and the others didn't dare to ask more all the way, because they really wanted to annoy the other party, and they had to beat him up. After flying with the old woman for half an hour, everyone finally went deep into the land of source law. Here, desolate, there is not a trace of life on the ground, like a dead zone, and the silence is terrible. The old woman stopped on a hill, looked at the endless brown earth, and said, "Since Yuanfa is born, Wanfa does not exist. Do you know, what is the deepest part of the land of source law?" Lin Haoyang frowned. He had never really thought about the end of the land of source law before, and Jilingxi and the seniors never mentioned it. He also came to nature for a while. What is it that can create such a treasured land as the land of source law, that is the source of Wanfa? In other places in the outside world, it is extremely difficult to perceive the rules. It is said that in the land of source law, one can feel the 99 rules of the world, which shows how precious this treasure land is. It is said that what is hidden here is a chaos stone. At this moment, Jian Shu on the side spoke. As soon as this statement came out, everyone's eyes gathered. Chaos stone, most people here have never heard of it. Lin Haoyang was one of them. He was a monk halfway through, and compared with these people, his background was still a little worse. As soon as Jian Shu said the chaos stone, several people's complexions suddenly changed. Obviously, they knew the chaos stone. That's right, Qin Yan's disciple still has some insights. The depths of the source of law is a huge chaotic stone. Among you, some may know the function of chaos stone, but more people don't know it. The chaos stone was born when the heavens and the earth first opened, and the energy of the chaos was gathered. As for its importance, you only need to know. The rules of the heavens and the earth were born in the chaos. The old woman said with a solemn expression. The world began to show chaos, and the chaos was dizzy. The importance of this chaos stone really exceeded everyone's imagination. Senior, the chaos stone is so important, why should he put him here and move it back to the bronze ancient sword, wouldn't it be better? Asked a nascent soul late-stage genius. Lin Haoyang also looked at the old woman, which is what he wanted to ask. With a look of helplessness on Lao Wu's face, he said, "It's not that we don't want to. When we first discovered this place, the 3 joined forces to enter the deepest place of the source law, wanting to move the fast chaotic stone back to the ancient bronze sword. But the 3 seniors worked together and couldn't shake it anymore. Since then, no one has paid attention to the chaos stone. But for the safety of the chaos stone, let me wait for the 3 to guard it." The old woman said some basic information about the chaos stone, and finally said, "Well, taking the hill as a point, I will sit here, and you will spread out on your own and feel the force of the rules. In 5 years, you only have 5 years. If you can't control the power of a rule, you will be eliminated." Quote. Then the old woman waved her hand, and a hole opened in the hill, and an immortal cave appeared in front of everyone. There are cultivation technique classics on how to control the power of rules. You can incite yourself. If you don't understand, you can ask me, the old man yumming. After that, the old woman stopped talking, closed her eyes and thought. Lin Haoyang showed a wry smile, just believe them. This is the power to control the rules, so I don't even give any pointers. Well, they said, no, you can ask them for advice. Others are also very distressed. 5 years, it is too difficult to control a rule, but as long as they control one. As long as they don't die, they will become gods, and they will be stable. The people who can be selected here are all geniuses among geniuses. There are only a few spiritual roots here, which shows how terrifying the talents of Lin Haoyang are. Since they are all geniuses, they will not easily fail. Without saying much, everyone rushed into the cave. Among the people present, Lin Haoyang knew only 2 people, one was Jian Shu and the other was Sun Yi. That's right, it was Sun Ning's big sis, and Sun Ning's talent was still a bit worse, so Long Tuzi asked Sun Yi to come. After a long absence, Sun Yi's cultivation base has entered the 6th floor of Nascent Soul, and it has made a lot of progress compared to when we met that day. It can be seen that Long Tuzi attaches great importance to her. However, Sun Yi was a little surprised to see Lin Haoyang. After all, it was only a short time after the separation. The Golden Core kid that day had already had a baby, which really shocked her. Although Sun Ning talked to her when he went back, but when he saw it, the shock was even greater. Although Lin Haoyang is only on the 1st floor of Nascent Soul, Sun Yi is sure that Lin Haoyang's strength is more than that. Even if it is her strength is far better than Lin Haoyang, but she really matches. Is she really Lin Haoyang's opponent? She is not sure. Ji Ling first line, you can measure his strength by cultivation base, and you have already lost half of it. Dharma body dual cultivation, too strong. Lin fellow Taoist, I haven't seen you for a few days now, your strength has grown a bit faster. Sun Yi said. Lin Haoyang grinned and said, it's just a chance, fellow Taoist son is not bad. The two smiled at each other and stopped talking, and each entered the immortal cave. Although the relationship between the two is okay, but this time, it is a competitive relationship, and it is impossible for both parties to retreat. The same is true for Lin Haoyang and Jian Shu. Although the two have a covenant, they still have to fight for the chance. If Jian Shu could become the Saint Son, then his union with Lin Haoyang would be meaningless. To become the Saint Son, the Sword League would not hesitate all resources to pile him up into a He Dao. After stepping into Immortal Cave, Lin Haoyang came to a vast building, which was extremely vast and obviously had internal space. Lin Haoyang didn't see anyone else, who had obviously entered these ancient houses. According to the old woman, there was a way to control the rules. He chose a room as he pleased, and Lin Haoyang stepped in. Although there was no one living in the ancient house for a long time, it was not slender. As soon as you entered the door, there were rows of bookshelves filled with various classics. Lin Haoyang flipped it casually, and it really had everything. Mortal books, cultivation techniques, spells, and drafts are all in a mess. Lin Haoyang's face is full of helplessness. Can these books really understand the power of rules? Where do you comprehend? He even suspected that the old woman was coaxing them. He was not the only one who had this kind of thought. All the people who entered the ancient house at this moment looked gloomy, suspecting that the old woman was cheating them. 86%. Chapter 516 Phoenix Spirit Awakens. There are too many books here, and Lin Haoyang is simply looking for a needle in a haystack if he wants to find classics about the rules. Let alone 5 years, I am afraid that 50 years will be difficult. After reading dozens of books, Lin Haoyang had a headache. He couldn't see these books, and he also understood the rules and what's the relationship. Afterwards, he shuttled through a few more rooms, all of which were almost the same, and they were full of various cultivation technique classics. After an hour, Lin Haoyang gave up completely, and looking for it like this had no effect. Xiaojin, come out. It's absolutely right to find Xiaojin if something goes wrong. Soon, the little golden dragon flew out of Lin Haoyang Dantian and appeared in front of Lin Haoyang. What are you doing? Little Jinlong was a little sleepy. Apparently Lin Haoyang disturbed his dreams. For little golden dragon, Lin Haoyang was also extremely helpless. This guy, he knew only to sleep all day long. Do you know how to comprehend the power of rules? Lin Haoyang asked. Originally, Xiao Jinlong was still sleepy. How could he have thought that Lin Haoyang would ask such a tricky question as soon as he came? The power of rules, that is something that the cultivator can comprehend. You are a nascent soul layer, what do you think about this? I know that you are very talented, even outrageous, but is this a bit too high? For a while, Xiao Jinlong became worried. Boy, I know that your source of good fortune is not shallow. You have been going smoothly all these years, and you have to keep your feet on the ground. Little Jinlong tried his best to persuade him, but he was quickly interrupted by Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang didn't want to waste time, so he said the purpose of this time. After listening, Xiao Jinlong still didn't understand, according to his statement. Nascent soul has what nascent soul wants to do, and the transformation of the gods has the things that the gods want to do. Now Lin Haoyang doesn't need to understand the rules. Nascent soul. Naturally, it is to cultivate nascent soul. According to Xiao Jinlong's statement, nascent soul does not cultivate nascent soul, which is nonsense. Even if it is in the former fairy world, There is no reason why nascent soul does not repair nascent soul, but to repair the rules. Heavenly spiritual roots are powerful and talented, but in the fairy world, heavenly spiritual roots are not the most powerful. Above the heavenly spiritual roots, there are some special Taoist bodies. These Tao bodies are natural cultivators. They are naturally close to Tao and cultivate like eating and drinking water. Tao body, immortal ascension, a Tao body was born, enough to alarm the immortal bigwigs. But even for these people, there is no reason to fix the rules without repairing nascent soul when nascent soul. The rules are only a kind of strength, and it is not in control of the rules, or invincible. Nascent soul is not strong enough, it will affect immortal ascension. For a while, Lin Haoyang understood a bit. Maybe Qin Yan and other cultivators also knew this. Not repairing nascent soul during nascent soul would have a big disadvantage. However, the impact of this on Lin Haoyang and others is not too great. The purpose of the 7 Hidao is to use resources to build 2 Hidao cultivators. As for the things after cultivating Hidao, the 7 great Hidao didn't think so much. Since they have all become Hidao, they are standing at the highest point in the world, as for the cultivation of immortal ascension in the future. Forget it, don't think about it, how many talents have not been able to succeed in the past 20,000, how can you succeed? This world seems to be unable to cultivate immortal ascension because of insufficient levels. Otherwise, the demonic beasts clan has reproduced in this world for tens of thousands of years, and there are already tier 8 demonic beasts. Even the Xiangliu clan are trapped in the 7th rank, unable to cultivate into gods and demons. It's not that their blood is not strong enough, it's not that their talent is not high enough, but that the world can bear it as the 7th order pinnacle, unable to break through. Therefore, Xiao Jinlong's worries, the 7 great combinations have not been considered at all. Don't make trouble, we are fortunate to have cultivated the combination Dao. Boy, if you just want to stop at Hidao, then you feel the rules here. If you want to go further, you should be honest in cultivation. Xiao Jinlong said with a serious expression. Having said this, his face suddenly changed, saying, as for the power to perceive the rules, it is so troublesome, as long as Feng Ling wakes up, it will naturally not be difficult. Lin Haoyang frowned. Yes, he almost forgot that there was a big brother among Yuk. At the beginning, he heard Xiao Jinlong say that in order to awaken Feng Ling, he needs the power of the phoenix veins. Last time in the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda, the little golden dragon felt the breath of phoenix veins on the 8th floor. In the last battle of killing demons, he even knew that the remaining part of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda was hidden in his sea of knowledge. But for a long time, he has been entangled in various things and has no time to manage the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, but he has forgotten about it. Now that I think about it, it seems that Feng Ling can be revived. Lin Haoyang divine sense looked inside, looking at the 8th stage mysterious tower floating in the corner of the sea of consciousness. Now his sea of consciousness is also lively, a divine sense phantom, a phantom of the Buddha Pagoda, and now there is an 8th stage mysterious tower, which is also lively. Divine Sense Phantom opened his eyes, looked at the 8th stage mysterious tower, and said, open the 8th floor and give me some wind power. The 8th stage profound crystal pagoda shook violently. It thought it was hiding well, but Lin Haoyang still felt a breath of wind. The 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda can persist until now, and it is inseparable from the support of Fengmei, so it is not easy to get the power of the Fengmei from the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda. Soon, a boy got out of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda with a dark complexion. It was really unlucky for him and Lin Haoyang. The first time I saw him, the lower 4 floors were gone. The second time I used him to deal with Demon Cultivator, the third time, would I have to catch the Phoenix Vein. Although it didn't know how Lin Haoyang knew that the 8th layer contained Phoenix Veins, it could not be easily handed over. No one refines it, and for so many years, it can still exert its might because of this Phoenix Vein. I don't care how you know that I have phoenix veins, don't want to touch it. It is too important to me. Tong Zi said. Lin Haoyang was a little surprised, but soon understood that the phoenix vein should be the spirit power center of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. Without this spirit vein, it would be almost useless. He didn't know how much power of the phoenix veins it would take to revive Feng Ling. If it sucks it dry, I'm afraid the boy will fight him desperately. I'm not discussing with you. Either open the 8th layer to me and let me absorb some of the power of the phoenix veins, or get me out of my sea of consciousness, don't think you are important to me. Shenhun Ziying said. The boy's complexion was shocked, and his face changed. He didn't expect Lin Haoyang to be so tough. If Lin Haoyang didn't want him to stay in the Sea of Knowledge, he really couldn't help it. What promised him was the phantom of the Buddha pagoda, but not Lin Haoyang. Once Lin Haoyang unloaded his mill to kill the donkey, he had nothing to do. After tearing his face, the Buddha pagoda will help Lin Haoyang or help it. Needless to say, it must have helped Lin Haoyang. Lin Haoyang is gone, no one is cultivating the Buddha's profound art. Even if the Buddha's pagoda has great abilities, it can't condense the projection. Besides, does Lin Haoyang really care about him so much? It might be a little bit, but not so eager. He knew that Lin Haoyang still had a magical item in his body, the level of which seemed not low. 86%. Chapter 517 Phoenix Veins. The 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda was forced to be helpless, it had no more choices. Either agree with Lin Haoyang to open up the 8th floor so that it can absorb part of the power of the Phoenix Veins. Or leave Lin Haoyang's Sea of Consciousness. The first choice, although a bit too much, even violated their original promise. But compared to the second option, it is easier for him to accept. Once the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda leaves Lin Haoyang's Sea of Knowledge, it means that all his previous investments will be voided, and it has become a joke. As for finding other people and letting them restore their own strength, 8th stage Xuanjing Tower has never thought about it. With his reliance, even if it is a harmony, there is no way. Even if his current power is only tier 6, it is extremely difficult for ordinary Hidao cultivator to motivate him. It's just because his material is so good that what he pays is not proportional to what he gets, and he might still be inferior to him if he is in the same way. In other words, the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda actually has no other choice, only a gamble, betting that Lin Haoyang has the potential to surpass Hidao. If this idea is spread, I don't know how many people will laugh at it. In this era, who dares to say immortal ascension? 20,000 years prove that this era. 5 cents. 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda dares to gamble that Lin Haoyang has a chance to immortal ascension, it is all because of the phantom of the Buddha Tower. The phantom of the Buddha Tower dare to gamble, why not dare? It's nothing more than success and failure. It's nothing more than success. It's a return to the previous failure, or even further, failure and destruction. It's just a matter of time. He had been silent for 20,000 years, and he was tired of it. Okay, I promised, 8th stage Mysterious Tower said. Lin Haoyang smiled, and as he expected, 8th stage Xuanjing Tower agreed. In Lin Haoyang Dantian, the little golden dragon was even more excited, and the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda agreed, which meant that the Phoenix Veins were there, and the Phoenix Spirit could be revived. Soon, Yuk flew out of Lin Haoyang's Dantian, and then got into Lin Haoyang's forehead, and appeared in Lin Haoyang who knew the world. Lin Haoyang is familiar with Yuk, and has been with him since he was a child. Lin Haoyang is clear about every pattern above. One dragon and one phoenix, the sculptures are lifelike, and at first glance, they are not ordinary products. It was also the first time that the boy saw Yuk's true face, and he was shocked and speechless. He is the tool spirit of the 8th stage Profound Crystal Pagoda. He naturally has some insights. When he sees Yuk, he knows that this thing is definitely not simple. Without waiting for the 8th stage Profound Crystal Tower to inquire, the dragon spirit moved and his body emerged from the jade fault, transforming into a small golden dragon. Quick, open the 8th floor. Xiao Jinlong's eyes were full of desire and eagerness. He waited for countless years, and finally waited until this day. When he woke up, he didn't know how long this day would take, but now that Feng Mai was right in front of him, he couldn't believe it. Seeing the little golden dragon, the boy was even more shocked. The spirituality of the little golden dragon is not under him. In other words, Yuk's rank is by no means lower than him. Moreover, the dragon spirit is only one Dao item spirit, and it can carry 2 Dao item spirits at the same time, and the rank will definitely surpass him. He didn't expect that Lin Haoyang's luck has been heaven-defying to such a level. This kind of fairy Dao magical item can be encountered. The difference from him is that Yuk is intact. It should have been consumed too much that year, causing the spirit to fall asleep. The boy's legs were short, and the dragon spirit recovered because of some special reasons. As for Fengling, he has already felt that if he wants to recover, he only needs to absorb the power of the Phoenix Veins. As for how much to absorb, it is difficult for him to judge. According to his calculation, this Fengling has been sleeping for 20,000 years, and the spirit power he wants to recover is absolutely huge, but it should not be enough to drain his 8th layer of Phoenix Veins. Lin Haoyang still had no expression on his face, and said, "Well, now that you have agreed, Don't rush, open up the space on the 8th floor and let Yuke go in until you have enough. The boy's complexion changed. Suck enough. Then he must not be sucked dry. His 8th layer of phoenix veins was not a real spiritual vein. If it were a real spiritual vein, he would naturally have no such worries. The phoenix veins in the 8th floor were just his master back then. He disliked the need to inject a large amount of spirit power into each battle, so he intercepted a section of the phoenix veins and merged it into the 8th floor. Let the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda be filled with spirit power from time to time, with full combat power. Because it's just a phoenix vein, it can't generate spirit power by itself, so his master set up some formations. Let this phoenix vein absorb spirit power, convert it into phoenix vein power, and use it directly. And these spirit powers were obtained by the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda absorbing external spirit power, so that the power of the phoenix veins would not be cut off. However, these designs are implemented relative to the fairy world. In the fairy world, the richness of spirit power was not imaginable now. The place where immortals lived, spirit power was even more peculiar, and even had the power of fairy spirits. The world Lin Haoyang is staying in now, even if the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda fully absorbs it, 10 days may not be as much as the amount absorbed in one day in the past. Even if he absorbs too much, it will cause some unnecessary problems. A magical item of immortal Dao crazy absorbs spirit power, even if it is a 6th order spiritual vein, it can't stand it. The boy sighed softly. He had no choice but to open the 8th floor obediently. With a wave of the boy, a vortex appeared on the 8th floor of the 8th stage mysterious crystal tower, which expanded to form a passage. Jin Long was very excited, and immediately rushed into the 8th floor with Yuke in his hand. Lin Haoyang's soul phantom flashed himself, and stepped into the 8th floor. The boy shook his head helplessly, his body gradually dissipated, and once again appeared. He had already appeared in the 8th floor. It was also the first time for Lin Haoyang to enter the 8th floor of the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. When he climbed the 7th floor last time, he raised the table and failed to enter the 8th floor. The 8th floor of the 8th stage mysterious tower is very mysterious. It is not the lower 7 floors, but the world's. The 8th floor is a continent, about the size of 100 li, and there are vast stars in all directions. On this continent, there are still many palaces, planted with various types of vegetation, and at first glance, there were still people living here. In the north of the mainland, there is a mountain range, not big, 10 miles long, but very rich in spirit power. From a distance, the mountain range looks like a phoenix about to spread its wings and soars. The terrain is amazing. The moment the little golden dragon entered, he took Jade K and went straight to the mountain range. He was too sensitive to the feeling of spiritual veins. Needless to say, Xiao Jinlong also knows where the phoenix veins is. Lin Haoyang's soul did not say much, and flew towards Fengmei with the boy. The speed of the soul and shadow is much faster than the penetration, and the distance is not too far, and within the time of a stick of incense, Lin Haoyang came to the foot of Fengmei Mountain. I saw the little golden dragon hanging on the top of the phoenix veins with the jade fault, and a series of special spiritual patterns appeared around the dragon spirit, which were injected into the phoenix veins. He began to draw the power of the phoenix spirit into the jade fault. Lin Haoyang looked at it and recovered Feng Ling, as if he didn't need to do anything. How long does it take for Feng Ling to recover? Lin Haoyang asked. The boy thought for a while and said, 1 month. Lin Haoyang nodded. 1 month, too much to wait. 86%. Chapter 518 Feng Ling's recovery. Lin Haoyang didn't rush to leave either. Among these ancient houses, it may take more than a month to insight into a classic book. Although divine sense sinks into it, he still pays attention to the outside world. Once someone or any danger approaches, he will be able to spot it for the first time. However, the probability of finding a danger is not high. It is strictly forbidden to participate in the selection of the Holy Child. Once found, he will inevitably be put to death. After all, those who can come to participate in the selection of the saints are all geniuses among the geniuses. No matter who loses, it is the loss of the human race. So here, Lin Haoyang really doesn't worry about safety. Time flies quickly. 1 month has passed, and during this period of time, 3 people have visited him. However, seeing Lin Haoyang not moving, he didn't ask much, and walked away. They were also anxious to find a way to control the rules, and they didn't care what Lin Haoyang was thinking about. For a month, the boy's expression was extremely gloomy. He thought that Yuke could not absorb too much power of the phoenix veins, but obviously he underestimated the opponent. This month, the little golden dragon took the jade fault and absorbed the power of the phoenix madly. Even for 20,000 years, the boy hasn't used much, so that the power of the phoenix veins is filled. However, Yuk sucked so hard that the whole phoenix veins were dimmed. The power of the phoenix veins that could be sensed from far away has now been retracted into the mountains. This period of phoenix veins was originally incomplete, but what was absorbed at this moment already felt like it was about to collapse. Lin Haoyang glanced at the boy and said, "Okay, don't smoke." He had to stop the little golden dragon, and if he wanted to suck it down like this, he would completely absorb this phoenix vein. I'm afraid the boy would go crazy. Moreover, the phoenix veins are so precious that they cannot be destroyed so easily. If Feng Ling can't be awakened this time, then he can only wait for the next opportunity. Although it is extremely expensive to restore the spirit power of Feng Mei, as long as there is a chance, it can be done. For example, sneaking into the wilderness and sucking up a spiritual vein is not impossible with his current cultivation base. Lin Haoyang stopped, although little golden dragon was unwilling, but he could only return with Yuk. Little Jinlong was full of excitement. This time Yuk had absorbed too much power of the phoenix vein, which was completely enough for Feng Ling to wake up. Little golden dragon kept sucking, because these phoenix veins don't need money, so much can be absorbed. Secondly, he can't guarantee that there will be any changes, anyway, he just absorbs more. Moreover, with more power of the phoenix veins, after the phoenix veins wake up, they can also recover in the shortest time. The dragon and the phoenix dual spirits, the knowledge of the dragon palm, the combat power of the phoenix palm, the battle of the past, it is precisely because of Feng Ling's desperate struggle that Yuk can be retained. During that battle, Long Ling could only watch from the sidelines, watching Feng Ling desperately. In the end, Feng Ling was seriously injured and fell asleep, but he also wiped out his opponent. It was Long Ling who took Yuk out of the battlefield and fled back. In that battle, the dragon and phoenix twin spirits actually didn't need to participate in the battle. After all, their existence was not for fighting, but for passing on the fire of the human race. However, the world was torn apart in that battle. Everyone joined the war, the race was about to be wiped out, and their masters were seriously injured and dying. Feng Ling has a very hot personality. Although the owner of Yuk asked them to flee with the last kind of human race, Feng Ling insisted not to escape. In a battle with the enemy, although Yuk is not the main battle, the combat power is not so strong, but it can't stand the high ranks, and the combat power is also good. After escaping from the battlefield, Xiao Jinlong rushed into the bronze ancient sword with Yuk, followed the rest of the human race, and fled here. Because Yuk escaped back by himself, no one in the human race knew about the existence of Yuk, and there was no way to inherit the large number of cultivation techniques left in Yuk. The human races that Xin Hao left all brought some sect cultivation technique originals. Otherwise, it would be too difficult for human race to turn over. Xiao Jinlong came to Lin Haoyang's soul and shadow, sent Yuk to Lin Haoyang, and said excitedly, "Master, the power of the phoenix veins that Feng Ling has absorbed should be enough. The guy Xin Hao hasn't used it much for 20,000 years, otherwise it might not be enough." Lin Haoyang was delighted, but he didn't let him down. If it wasn't enough, I'm afraid he would waste a lot of time. He was still a little surprised. This was the first time Xiao Jinlong called him his master. Although Xiao Jinlong was still obedient, he wouldn't call him his master. Although Lin Haoyang refined Yuk, the little golden dragon still felt that Lin Haoyang was not strong enough to control Yuk. Also, compared with his master, Lin Haoyang is too weak. Also, the master of Yuk, who is also a big figure in the immortal world, can have the existence of cultivation technique like the Buddha profound art, and the strength is definitely not weak. Thinking of the power of the Buddha pagoda, even the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda was terrified. Lin Haoyang even felt that the master of Yuk was probably the master of the immortal stage. Even if it is not, the master of Yuk is one of the best in the immortal world. Therefore, even if Lin Haoyang refines Yuk, little golden dragon will not easily accept Lin Haoyang. But this time, Lin Haoyang got Feng Mai and gave Feng Ling a chance to recover, so he recognized Lin Haoyang. From now on, Lin Haoyang will be Lin Haoyang's second master. Lin Haoyang's soul nodded and said, "What should I do?" Little Jinlong said excitedly, "As long as the master divine sense injects some main force of the soul to guide Feng Ling's spiritual intelligence to wake up." Lin Haoyang nodded. It was indeed not too difficult, but this matter could only be done by him. Yuk is refined by Lin Haoyang, and Lin Haoyang's divine sense can naturally enter the Yuk without any obstacles. Even Feng Ling would feel a little close to Lin Haoyang. As for others, not to mention that divine sense can't enter Yuk, just connect to Yuk, they can't do it. Yuk, that is Lin Haoyang's biggest trump card, can have today's achievements, all depends on Yuk, unless Lin Haoyang falls. Otherwise, Yuk will never go out. Lin Haoyang's divine sense phantom pointed out and landed on Yuk. Suddenly an incomparable strength of divine sense poured into the jade fault. Yuk, Lin Haoyang used divine sense to probe countless times, and he was naturally familiar with the road, and soon came to Fengling's sleeping place. When divine sense entered here in the past, it was like entering a chaotic place, with nothing to detect. Now that it has absorbed a large amount of the power of the Phoenix vein, Yuk finally got better. Divine sense entered it without being blocked, and soon came to the land of Fengling water. As he continued to deepen, Lin Haoyang felt a huge spirit, and this spirituality was not below the spirituality. Although he absorbed a lot of the power of the Phoenix vein, Shan was still somewhat fragile. Just like a seriously ill person who suddenly absorbed a lot of supplements, he couldn't adapt to it for a while. However, Lin Haoyang didn't bother to think so much. Feng Ling's spirit has been asleep for too long. Although he has recovered, it is not easy to wake up. Lin Haoyang controlled his own divine sense and began to exchange Feng Ling. Feng Ling, don't wake up soon. Lin Haoyang's call made Feng Ling react, and her spirit began to tremble. After an unknown period of time, the spirit in the Yuk trembled suddenly, and a phoenix rose into the sky and rushed out of the Yuk. Little Jinlong looked at this phoenix, almost crying, goodbye in the past, goodbye, it will be 20,000 years later. 87%. Chapter 519 Nascent Soul 9 Changes. Feng Ling regained consciousness, looking at the strange sea of knowledge world, a little dazed. How long has she slept? Why does it feel like tens of thousands have passed? Where is this again? She looked at Lin Haoyang's soul and shadow. She was kind, it seemed that this person refined Yuk and then awakened him. But the strength is a bit weak, the sea of knowledge is so small, I'm afraid it's only nascent soul realm, so weak, how to refine Jade K. Suddenly, she felt a familiar breath, like that guy. And here, there seemed to be some old friends. Feng Ling, you woke up. Just thinking of this, Xiao Jinlong's trembling body swam in front of Feng Ling, tears in his eyes. Feng Ling frowned. This guy still loves to cry so much. In the battle that year, he was crying and crying on the side, preventing her from fighting well. Why are you crying? Auntie is not dead yet. How is the battle outside? Master. Feng Ling was a little afraid of getting bad news. Of course, the master she was talking about was Yuk's former master, not Lin Haoyang. Feng Ling was more arrogant than Long Ling, and Long Ling sincerely convinced Lin Haoyang it was not easy, let alone her. Speaking of this, the dragon spirit, the boy, and even the phantom of the Buddha tower in the distance, all looked faint. In that battle, the defeat was too miserable. Seeing the look of Long Ling, Feng Ling had already guessed 7 or 8. After all, the battle situation at that time was really bad, and the fairy world fell into a total disadvantage. The enemy is too powerful. Feng Ling no longer asked, but said. The war. How long has it passed? 20,000 years. The immortal realm has been shattered, and your master has died in battle almost out of all. The era that belongs to you has passed. Lin Haoyang said in a ghostly shadow. Little Jinlong opened his mouth to speak, but he couldn't say anything. Lin Haoyang was right. The time that belonged to them had passed. Feng Ling was shocked. How could it be possible that she fell asleep for 20,000? It shouldn't be so. So many veterans here. Although she is not familiar with the 8th stage Xuanjing Pagoda, she has seen him from a distance several times on the battlefield, and he is still there. Is that 20,000 past? More importantly, the phantom of the Buddha tower is still there. Tell me, Master, has it fallen? Seeing Feng Ling's expression of disbelief, Long Ling spoke, and will tell you everything from the beginning to the present one by one. After a quarter of an hour, Feng Ling was in great grief, and the immortal world was destroyed, which was somewhat unacceptable. The extremely powerful immortal realm was actually destroyed, and their master died in all likelihood. Feng Ling slowly accepted the result after waiting for a long time. Crying ghost, so now, we have nothing, right? Feng Ling continued. Hearing the 3 words crying ghost, Long Ling couldn't help but cried again. No, there is still me, and the tower, he hasn't destroyed it, and the master shouldn't die, otherwise he can't be there. He is the master's life soldier. If the master is really dead, he will not be able to project, so we still have a chance. Quote. Right, Haida, Long Ling roared hysterically for the first time. The projection of the Buddha pagoda trembled. Without saying more, that battle was too tragic, and his body also shattered a lot. His master finally gave up on him and started the ultimate battle with the strongest person. Unfortunately, after that battle, their master did not return. He pushed his broken body and fell in the starry sky. It wasn't until Lin Haoyang cultivated the profound realm of the Buddha that he returned again in the form of projection. Because Yuk was buried, Lin Haoyang was the first to cultivate the Buddha profound art in the past 20,000 years, so he did not hesitate to condense a projection on Lin Haoyang. Now that there is a second person who cultivates, he can't condense the projection, that is to say, he is also betting, with the help of his projection and the Jade K Shuangling, Lin Haoyang can grow up. After a stick of incense, Feng Ling sighed softly and put away the sadness on his face. Boy, it should be your purpose to wake me up at such a price. Feng Ling said. Little Jinlong wanted to speak, but was stopped by Feng Ling and said. Let him say to himself, not everyone can become my master, and I have only cultivated the profound art of the Buddha. Although it is good, it is only good. If you want me to surrender, you must show strength. If you are faint and incompetent, I will not help you. Feng Ling's voice was firm, and he did not give Lin Haoyang a chance. Even if there is only a ghost shadow in the sea of consciousness, the corners of his mouth can't help but twitch. Is Feng Ling so difficult to deal with? I'm like this, it's just average, your request is really high. However, Lin Haoyang was considered to have seen people with strong winds and waves, and was not frightened. I can't guarantee you anything. If you cultivate a path, who dares to say that there are no accidents? Immortal ascension, I'm not sure, but with you, I can't immortal ascension. Not only is I bad, you are the same, so many forces are gathered together, and they can't succeed. I will die soon, Lin Haoyang said. As Lin Haoyang said, Long Ling's heart and liver were trembling, so angering Feng Ling, he was really afraid that Feng Ling's violent temper would explode. Unexpectedly, Feng Ling smiled instead and said, You're not bad, at least you know the advantages you have now, and you don't have any desire for profit. It's you alone, I can help you, but as long as you don't immortal ascension, I won't recognize you as the master. Lin Haoyang's divine sense phantom grinned. No matter what Feng Ling thinks, it doesn't matter whether he recognizes him as the master. As long as Feng Ling is willing to help him, that's fine. Now that Feng Ling has recovered, he has the opportunity to control the power of the rules. As long as he controls the power of the rules, the selection of the Holy Son Holy Maiden will be no problem. Lin Haoyang's soul phantom shook his head and said, It doesn't matter if you don't recognize the Lord, just tell me, can you let me control a rule in a short time? Like Long Ling's reaction, Feng Ling frowned and said, I was still complimenting you just now, why do you have to control the rules in nascent soul? Nascent soul does not repair the 9 changes of nascent soul, so what is the power of the rules? You have to know that every realm has the necessity of his existence. If you are so lofty, I will take back what I just said, I will not help you. I have a way to control the power of a rule in a short time, but I won't tell you. Quote. Lin Haoyang frowned. Unexpectedly, Feng Ling actually had a way to control the rules in a short time. What was even more unexpected was that Feng Ling, like Long Ling, was so opposed to his power to control the rules. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang seemed to understand something, too. Today's realm division, even after 20,000 years, has not changed much, it is necessary for him to exist. Who knows how long has the current realm division existed in the fairy world? 1,000 years, 100,000 years. Over the years, there hasn't been much change, that is to say, nascent soul realm has something unique to him. After explaining it to Feng Ling Haosheng, Feng Ling barely understood it. Today's human race, I didn't expect to have been so bad. Suddenly, Lin Haoyang suddenly remembered something and said, Feng Ling, what is the nascent soul 9 changes you just mentioned? 87%. Chapter 520 Cultivation Technique Consummation. Feng Ling didn't conceal it either. He changed nascent soul's 9 changes one by one. Lin Haoyang knew that in the fairy world, nascent soul had a special cultivation method. They have nothing in this world. Or, he hasn't touched it yet. Nascent soul realm, in addition to growing nascent soul, is to grow the cultivation base. The cultivation base is strong to a certain level, and then you have to feel the power of the rules, and naturally, you will advance to the level of God. Although it's simple to say, but it's harder to do it. This is why some people who have studied on nascent soul are much stronger when they are both nascent soul. Knowing the power and importance of the 9 changes of nascent soul, Lin Haoyang no longer clings to the rules. Even if it fails this time, so what? It's just to let others take the lead. He has been cultivating to the present, but he has only been a little bit younger. He is much younger than others, and he has a chance. Even if the cultivation base hasn't grown in the first year, no one will look down upon him. The nascent soul of the two are considered normal. As for the opportunity for Hidao, is he bad? No, he controls the opportunity of immortal ascension. Soon, Lin Haoyang eased from the sufferings and losses, withdrew from the sea of knowledge, and began to ask how to cultivate nascent soul 9 changes. After Feng Ling learned the whole story, he no longer blamed Lin Haoyang. After all, in this era, knowledge has a fault and cultivation base has a peak. Harmony is heaven. If you use the rules of immortal ascension to restrain others, others will not thank you, they will think you are a lunatic. Under Feng Ling's guidance, Lin Haoyang finally knew what the 9 changes of nascent soul were. The 9 changes of nascent soul can only be the 9 retreats of nascent soul, and 9 times are the limit. Since ancient times, people who want to cultivate immortal ascension must reach more than 7 sides during the nascent soul period. 7 sides are the foundation of immortal ascension. At the worst, it will have more than 4 changes. As far as the 4 sides are below, at best, it can be transformed into a god, not even a god. Following the 4 transformations, if you want to cultivate into harmony, even if you want to cultivate immortal ascension, you can only have a great opportunity later to make nascent soul transform. That's too difficult, unless luck is heaven-defying. Your current nascent soul should be in the 2nd transformation, which is not bad. You must cultivate into the 7 transformations to have the foundation of immortal ascension. Long Ling said on the side. Long Ling had been following Lin Haoyang, and was fairly familiar with Lin Haoyang's situation. However, Lin Haoyang was a little surprised. His nascent soul had reached the level of 2 changes, which made him a little surprised. After that, Lin Haoyang fell in love, nascent soul flew out of Lin Haoyang's dantian, and the lotus position was on Lin Haoyang's shoulder. Feng Ling met and said, "Your nascent soul has indeed reached the level of 2 transformations, and has even reached the peak of the 2 transformations. This has something to do with your cultivation technique and your opportunities. I guess, the thunder calamity when you broke through nascent soul should be unusual." Lin Haoyang's eyes stared fiercely. Are they so powerful? Just glanced at his nascent soul, and concluded that his thunder tribulation was extraordinary. Sure enough, are the powerhouses in the fairy world so strong? He glanced at Long Ling again. Although this guy was also powerful, he was still a little far away from Feng Ling. Long Ling took a moment to look at Lin Haoyang, always feeling that Lin Haoyang hadn't thought of anything good. Don't be surprised either. Cultivating the floating 2 Zan Zhenju, breakthrough, nascent soul has 2 changes, and there are many in history. The most arrogant group of people, once breakthrough, is likely to be the existence of the 3 changes, but you should not envy you. The real formula of the Buddha cultivation is incomplete, and there is a part of cultivating the gods and souls. The cultivation technique is not complete. It can still be cultivated to this day, and it's still pretty good. Quote. Lin Haoyang nodded after listening, but he was still shocked. Someone could reach the level of nascent soul's 3 changes as soon as he made a breakthrough. Such a Tianzhao, fighting higher ranks, I am afraid it is as simple as eating and drinking. A genius like Lin Haoyang doesn't have much restriction on their ranks, whether it is magical item or cultivation technique, they have too much advantage. Tianzhao like them doesn't care about the middle rank, as long as the rank is not too bad, they can fight. Now, how should I practice nascent soul? Lin Haoyang asked. Feng Ling didn't say much, and when he spread his wings, a phoenix feather flew out and fell to Lin Haoyang's eyebrows. This is another part of the Buddha's profound art. You first insight, if it makes me satisfied, I will hand you nascent soul's 9 change cultivation method. Feng Ling's voice fell into Lin Haoyang's ears. The phoenix spirit's feather fell between Lin Haoyang's eyebrows and instantly turned into a large piece of text, pouring into Lin Haoyang's mind. When he first came into contact with the profound realm of the Buddha, Lin Haoyang was almost collapsed by the sea of consciousness that was impacted by the smoky cultivation technique. Now come again, Lin Haoyang's divine sense moved, suppressing the cultivation technique text, preventing it from impacting his own knowledge of the sea. Lin Haoyang's sea of consciousness only fluctuated for a while before it returned to its original state. Seeing this, Feng Ling nodded in satisfaction. Lin Haoyang's divine sense made him satisfied. If even the impact of cultivation technique can't bear, hope that Lin Haoyang will cultivate the Buddha profound art to a high level, it is completely wishful thinking. Having obtained the cultivation technique of the divine soul part, Lin Haoyang instantly felt a sense of consummation. Before, between his cultivation base body and spirit, there was always a feeling of imbalance. Now that cultivation technique is completed, this feeling has completely disappeared. In Lin Haoyang's sea of consciousness space, the lotus position is sitting. In the past, Lin Haoyang didn't know why his condensed spirit and phantom were blinding his eyes. Today, cultivation technique is complete and he finally knows the reason. The heaven and the earth are divided into three parts, the clear air rises, the turbid air sinks, and everything is in the middle. The sea of consciousness is the sky and the clear, Dantian is the muddy, so nascent soul is the black eye. The middle is the heaven and the earth, and the flesh is born. The Buddha's Xuanzhenju divides people into three parts, knowing the sea is the sky, so the condensed ghosts and phantoms are naturally white eyes. The eyes are white, the world is colorless, no matter what cultivation technique, it can't affect Lin Haoyang's sea consciousness space. Breaking through all fantasy shadows, this cultivation technique is indeed terrifying. At the beginning, Lin Haoyang felt his power in the 8th stage profound crystal pagoda. Now that the cultivation technique is completed, Lin Haoyang's soul phantom is as if sublimated. Although his eyes were still white, they were pure white, gradually turning to the color of mysterious jade. This kind of transformation made his power of the soul extremely ascension. An hour later, Lin Haoyang's divine sense shocked, and divine sense reached the level of the 4th floor of nascent soul. Lin Haoyang's divine sense power once again greatly leads Lin Haoyang's cultivation base and physical power. 3 hours later, Lin Haoyang opened his eyes again, and there was a hint of refinement in his eyes. Obviously, Lin Haoyang has completely controlled the divine sense part of the Buddha's profound art. How is it? With my current state, are you satisfied? Lin Haoyang said. Feng Ling nodded. There is nothing to hide from these things. Lin Haoyang's talent surprised him very much. Lin Haoyang seems to be the talent of the 3 spiritual roots. Unexpectedly, it is so easy to comprehend the cultivation technique of the divine sense part of the Buddha's profound technique. That's right, Lin Haoyang comprehended the cultivation technique of the divine sense part of the Buddha's profound reality technique, although it was only a simple comprehension. The mysterious eyes of divine sense are the best proof. The mysterious eyes of divine sense are the best proof. The mysterious eyes